Take two. Welcome to the EST Hangout on this Thursday, November 23rd. Matt Iwanyk, Tom Gazzola with you. Sorry for that little weird spot on YouTube. If you're listening, we're watching where you saw us, then we went away quickly. The mics weren't working properly, but we got that fixed. Joining us today, it is the house band of Edmonton Sports Talk, Whale and the Wolves bassist Lucas Holt.
Thank you. Hello.
Who we actually are in a rivalry this week because of your hat.
Yes.
And then Corey Graham.
Hello.
Formerly of 1260 was with us over there. One of the it's OGs of over there.
Yeah, almost, I guess.
OGs
Because you weren't from the starts.
Not from the
of
start. I think I
12th.
missed the first 8 months or so.
Yeah.
So I missed all the problems when they were starting up. And
Nice.
then just had a lot of problems after that.
Really?
No.
Oh, no.
And of the one.
Yeah, I'm the one.
There we go. Yeah, so we're Washington State Cougars, Washington
Cup.
Huskies,
Yep.
Apple Cup.
yeah.
Saturday this year?
Saturday, yeah.
It is. Some
Yeah.
years it's on Friday. And
Friday.
they've renewed. Did you see that?
What?
They're going to extend because Huskies are moving to the Big Ten.
Yeah,
or whatever.
and you're going where?
They still haven't figured that
got
out.
it, yeah.
Except Washington State and Oregon State control the Pac-2 now. They control all the money. Some lawyer gave them all the money right now.
Awesome.
It's a lot of money and a
I
lot
know,
of
it's
IPs and
ridiculous,
things.
yeah.
And but they renewed the Apple Cup for the next 3
That's
years.
good. That's
so that
good.
the rivalry will stay between
Yeah.
us for that one. And
And that's kind of the, if we're getting right into it.
Right into.
That's kind of the crappy thing about the realignment now in college football. There's going to be some rivalries now that you're not going to be seeing anymore, like Oklahoma State. I don't know if Oregon State,
They haven't
the
made
Civil
anything
War, are
done
going to
yet.
be doing that anymore. It just they've had such that's one sport where tradition is so important, and now you're kind of going away from a lot of it, and it just kind of sucks to see. But it's great that the Apple Cup will be renewed. And,
it's too.
Yeah.
And it's just showing to the other schools that they can get this done.
Yeah, and it's
That's
just
something.
good. It's a nice feel good for Washington, knowing that they're going to crush Washington State for the for foreseeable future, which is fantastic. Yeah.
I think State won last year.
No.
Or 2 years ago.
2 years ago. Yeah.
Yeah, so let's not get carried
Yeah,
away
so
right now.
I think
how
they've had-
great would it be for
I
the
think-
Cougars? They're
Oh,
fired
yeah.
up for this one.
That would-
to destroy your undefeated season.
They're still going to the Pac-12 championship.
Yeah, I know, but to take out the way the undefeated season for the Cougs, those fans.
It's not going to happen though. This year,
People
it's in
said the
Seattle.
Oilers season they weren't going to have a bad season, and look what happened.
This is different. This is different.
Guys, come on. They're going to pull it out. Come on.
Who?
The Oilers.
Oh, that one. I thought we were trying to say Huskies or Cougars. We're totally talking
No,
about here.
sorry.
Tom, you're getting in on college football?
Yeah.
This is a Hangout presented by Mott's Clamato Caesar, by the way, available in both original variety 12 packs. Lucas got the pickle bean. I will be getting into the extra spicy a little bit later. So
I was going to say something about college football until
go
you
for
cut
it.
me off for that
Well,
promo.
I forgot
ahead.
to start today with our sponsor. So
He mentioned OU OSU.
Yeah.
They call that Bedlam
Yeah.
in Oklahoma City.
Yeah.
And that was like a monster deal down there. I remember.
for sure.
Y'all going to Bedlam? Hey, you going to Bedlam this weekend? No, what is this? Tell me about this. OSU against OU. And it was like the whole city shuts down for this game. And I remember asking Taylor Cornelius about this last year. What do you think of it? He's like, man, what a disaster. How do you not have Bedlam? And it's been happening for decades and decades and
Almost
decades.
like 100 years.
Yeah,
almost, right?
and it's all due to, I think OU wanted to jump to what?
They're
SEC?
going
to
to the SEC.
Yeah,
with
Texas went to
Yeah,
SEC.
exactly. And they're just like, screw you, OSU, and Bedlam's done with. So, and Luke's talking about the traditions and all that. And college football is steeped in traditions. You go to one of those games where it's like a true rich football culture there. And you get caught up in it, and that's one of those, and it's gone.
That's what I like. That's what I love about college football: is the tradition, the band. It's just it's sort of like, I guess you could put it on World Juniors, where it's not perfect. People they still make
Stakes have
mistakes,
skewed,
and kind of anything can happen. And when big upsets, like you see the kids rushing the field and stuff like that, it just. I don't know. Over the years, I've really gotten a lot more into it, and the college game day experience thing too, on TSN, is fantastic. Great coverage. Probably, I would say, it's probably the best kind of kickoff. What would it be hosting show?
Yeah,
right? It's
yeah.
4 hours in the
Like a
morning.
pregame?
They do it. Yeah,
College
pregame.
game day.
Yeah,
Game
it's
day,
so
yeah.
good. But then even like you've experienced, Corey, have you been to a college
I've not
game?
been to a college game
No?
down there. No.
But like that, the tailgating.
Yep.
Depending on where you're going, if you go to Seattle, like the sailgating, that's super super cool. Now it's great, and it really sucks that like the alignment. Maybe there'll be new rivalries that get started up after this, but they won't be the same. It'd be like Alabama not playing Auburn.
That's what makes this weekend great for those
Yeah,
that don't
yeah.
watch college football is that this is rivalry weekend basically.
Whether
the
they're-
Iron Bowl,
Whether they're
you've
like
got all
Alabama
sorts.
should probably take the Iron Bowl, right?
But you never know because it's the rivalry game,
right?
People
And that's
get
where
up for, it's Labor Day.
Yeah. And that's where like games in college like can sometimes be skewed because teams are so much better than others in week to week. But when it's a rivalry game, like it's going to be fun.
I just don't understand.
Yeah.
Sorry, Tom. Like, why would
ahead.
you take away those games? Like, could you you mentioned Labor Day? Could you imagine CFL like, Edmonton, Calgary not going to play this year?
Yeah.
Like
Edmonton, you're going to
Yeah.
Ottawa.
Going
this
to
weekend.
Montreal.
Yeah.
You know,
in
like-
the afternoon.
it's kind of like the center point of what all your fans worry about or think about, right?
Yeah.
They all want to get there to go to that game, and every other
Press
game's
play.
good
Yeah.
too, but that game's more important.
Well, and the thing is too, like college, they do out of conference games.
Yeah.
I don't know why,
They schedule their
Money.
games.
Yeah.
yeah, it
That's
is
why.
money.
It's all about money.
but you don't think that Bedlam brings in money?
It's huge.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
if Texas and Oklahoma both weren't going to the SEC and just say Texas was,
Yeah.
do you not think that they would still play each other? Like that rivalry is huge. Play
Yeah.
at the Cotton Bowl. Like I don't understand why they're gonna stop doing some of these rivalry games because it's just I don't know. I think it's just so important for that sport.
They had
the
college
culture.
football game day when I was down there. The game I went to was OU against Notre Dame, and everybody was talking like they were excited for the game itself. And who's the? Oh, it was Monte Teo was playing for Notre
Yeah.
Dame. It was right
Yeah.
right before the time
catfish.
the catfish thing before they're like, hey, he's getting catfish. There's like, oh, his girlfriend is sick and this and that. It was right in that time, but you knew something was a little bit off, and they were talking about that. That's twice, Matthew.
It's really tight there, I guess.
if you're not watching, Matthew stepped on my foot and then
They didn't catch
purposely
that part.
kneed me in the knee.
Well, we weren't airing for those
Yeah.
people,
As
so
one texter pointed out via the Paris Jewelers inbox, 780-218-9999, Matthew's being snippy today, and he's
I'm
being
not being
physical.
snippy.
Today?
I was
Yeah.
not. Okay, that's fair.
Yeah.
I
You're
was not being
interrupting our
snippy.
conversation now.
I got beef, and they asked me to speak, and I gave my beef. That's it. That's all I did. I wasn't snippy.
Wow, you didn't have to physically abuse your coworker.
HR.
HR. This HR Daddy, if you're watching, you saw that. We've got the tape. Anyway, I was just talking about college football game day. Anyway, it was such a big deal.
Yeah.
Like, and people weren't even talking. The game was something. Like,
Yeah.
in Oklahoma City that week, but they're like, man, college football game day is going to be here. Herb Street, that whole crew. You're going to go check them out. They're going to be in the quad at OU. And I was like, what? What? You guys are pumped up about the pregame show? That's amazing as a broadcaster.
Yeah.
But I didn't know it was that big of a deal. They're like, shoot, man, this is going to be awesome.
And what's cool about that too is that like they don't have like I know they have a set schedule on like certain places where they're gonna go like for the bigger games, but like I think they were just at was it James Madison University
They usually make the
Yeah.
announcement the week before.
Yeah,
Yeah.
so like for if you're doing well and it's a meaningful game, like they're
Yeah.
gonna come down there.
It's like a prestige factor
Yeah,
almost. And I honestly thought it was cool. I really liked it. And then like we get there for the tailgate. We're in Norman on campus, and like the elaborate setups are amazing. NFL tailgating is fantastic too. But like people would bring those 12 by 10 pop-up tents, and they would have full living rooms set up with like multiple TVs watching all the games. And they're like, yo, you want something to eat? And I was like, what do you got? Brisket?
Yeah.
Bud Light? And I'm like, okay, sure.
There's something to be said too about like a bunch of like college kids just plowed at 9:30 in the morning.
And then the alumni.
When they're not allowed, well underage. Well
100%,
underage.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's
Passed out.
I was at a USC one and I walked around and just seeing a couple people passed out. Like you can't, they couldn't handle their
I
liquor.
think I
They don't know
told
what
you
they're doing.
when
and
I
it's
was
just
here
like,
last time that some girl like she went to like Husky Stadium's right on
The water.
Yeah. And there's a little bit of a bankment going down, and she went to go to the washroom and ended up falling, like rolling down the hill. Like, yeah, it's entertaining for sure.
Have you gone to the tailgate at the Elks? Have you gone out there? Because
not
you do
really.
the PA
Yeah.
of the team.
I've been through it a little bit, but
Yeah.
I haven't like hung out there.
Yeah.
Yeah, usually I'm running just to
Yeah.
get there in time. So I kind of look at it I'm like, this would be really cool, but I got to go to work.
Yeah.
So, but I think they've done a really good job.
Yeah.
For sure, yeah.
And actually, the one thing I did do, I went and checked out Whale and the Wolf at the start of the season. That was cool. That was the one time I got to see you guys. I was like, hey, they're playing. I'm going to go check it out. So, yeah, I think they need to do more of that stuff, though, clearly.
And then keep growing it.
It
Yeah.
seems like it's picking up. Like Jerry and that Spirit crew does a great job.
Sure. Yeah,
and,
yeah.
And they have the ear of the city and the team,
Yeah.
which is important.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, so many years, for how long did it take them to get that figured out,
Forever.
right? And it's so much better now.
Yeah.
Like
But
the
also-
atmosphere, you can tell when you get there. Like the people are excited.
Yeah.
I mean, there were some lean times there for a while.
CG, those were terrible
polite.
weeks.
Yeah,
The
that was
first 9
polite.
Yeah,
weeks
I'm an
were
employee,
awful.
you know.
Yeah.
No, yeah. So
Yes,
it was a
yes.
long stretch where I felt like I was talking to nobody, But when they
was
beat
listening.
Ottawa, yeah, you were there.
I was
yeah,
listening.
they beat Ottawa. Like that stretch to win that game was awesome.
Yep.
And then it kind of felt a little bit better after that, even though they weren't, in the mix or nothing like that. But it felt like people were excited to be at the game. It wasn't just there to hang out, which is a great place to hang out. But
I will say like for people who like stopped going because of the losing streak and stuff like that, and that's totally fine. You have your money and where it needs to go, and if a product isn't performing, like for sure. But there is something to be said about sticking through it the lean times to see those wins and
Yeah.
stuff like that. Like both of you guys, you being there as an employee,
Yeah.
being able to see it, and then you being as a fan in the seats, like it feels good when you're with the bad times to see the good times again, right? And
I like that, and it's
Yeah.
true. Like I'll use this example. Cam Moon also has season seats, and I'm sure there's thousands of season seat holders. We know that. 13,000, I think it dipped down to. But like I was talking to Mooner when times were really bad. I'm like, man, this team is just it can't find its way. It's disappointing. The stadium, people aren't there. And he goes, yeah, but I'm not giving up my seats. I'm going to support the team.
Yeah.
And I was like, you know what, Mooner? I never once wavered. I'll renew my season tickets.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Absolutely. And I got my dad in my ear. He's like, why do you need 4 seats? You should just get 2 seats. I'm like, is it your money or is it my money? Are you supporting the team or am I supporting the team? And then he reluctantly will be like, well, I'll buy a seat for the year. And
Yeah.
I'm like, I'm always going to have them. They're good to have. It's great to go to.
Yeah.
Win or lose, we still booze. And the other thing too is like if you want to bring somebody to an event or something, you've got them. I appreciate and like having them. I know that's not for everybody,
Yeah.
and maybe I'm stubborn in that regard, but
it's
that's
nice-
kind of how I look at
It's
it.
nice to know. Like, obviously, they're not going to like sell out, but it's nice to have a ticket each week that they're
Yeah.
there, whether
Yeah.
you want to go or not. Like, I don't know how many games you need to go to make your money back, but
I went to all of them
Yeah.
this year.
but it's great. Like,
Yeah.
what else is there to do on a? Well, actually, it's probably a lot of things to do, but
Yeah,
on
a
like
few
a, summer,
things,
a
yeah.
beautiful
In our
summer
summers,
night
there's
or
a
like-
lot to do in
I
Edmonton.
know, but man, like that's one of the things you can do, and I think
People
it's
like I'm going to
awesome.
the lake.
Yeah.
500,000 people aren't going to the lake.
Yeah.
No.
You know,
Yeah, everyone has a lake.
But-
how do I get
Well,
to
that's-
be friends with
Yeah.
these people so I can go to the lake?
Yeah.
Well, talking about like going to the lake and no, you can't start the season or like everyone's always going to have a problem with that. Hey, like don't start the season too early because it'll interfere with NHL playoffs. But you also don't want to go out in the cold in November,
Right.
And you don't want to go during the summertime because you're at the lake.
Yeah.
Nothing on the weekends, please. Like,
But not
what,
weekdays because
but no
What do
Thursdays.
you
Yeah,
want?
exactly.
No late
No
ones
late
either. Yeah,
games
no
in the week,
Sundays.
yeah.
Like, what do you want?
JMO always had the joke with that. Is like, okay, so like Tuesday at 11. Does that work for everyone?
Yeah.
Like we
Yeah.
good
No,
with
you
that?
gotta work,
It's
yeah.
like, we good? Like is that where we're going here?
Meanwhile, if the Oilers plays Tuesday at 11, it'd be sold out.
Oh, 100%. Yeah.
Yeah.
but
In a snowstorm in
Yeah, in a
February.
snowstorm in
there's
February,
also a lot of complaining when like the Oilers play it. Like what was it? The Kevin Lowe retirement night was early for the retirement ceremony, and there was a lot of complaints about why is this so early? I have to work. And this is just back to even college football. It's
Yeah.
so different. The two countries that we have, the U.S. It doesn't matter what day or what time a game is played.
Yeah.
It's game day.
Yeah.
If the Huskies are going to have to play out a Wednesday at 5 o'clock,
Yeah.
Seattle, they're getting ready for the game at 5 o'clock on a Wednesday. I don't know, work has to take a pause. Baseball, you're a Cubbies fan. How long till they had night
Yeah.
games there?
Yeah,
You know,
exactly.
They're playing,
They still
they're
play
playing in
88.
mid morning. You know
They
what I
still
mean?
play
Like,
those,
I know.
and there's still
Guys are going.
thousands of people that go to that. Why?
Monday night.
Because that's what you do.
Monday night football. Like Thursday nights, you just got to get through Friday and you got the
Yeah.
weekend.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
like going to Monday night football
Especially
game,
East Coast.
East Coast time.
you got
8:20 kickoff.
you got the rest of the week to suffer. You know what I mean? Like, but they do it.
But then here,
No.
it's really hard to get people. Like it's very limited of what people can do and be happy with.
There's always an excuse.
But it's just so fascinating to me that like even the travel, like now it's easier to travel in the U.S. So I'll give them that. But you know, there's going to be these rivalry games this weekend, and there's going to be an away part of that stadium, which is full of people that travel to that game. And there's games tomorrow, there's games Saturday. They're making it work because that's what they do. That's their DNA.
Yeah, and not even that. Like you look at like let's say the Jets or the Giants that play in MetLife. Like that's nowhere near downtown New York.
No,
You know,
exactly.
it's in the middle of kind of
Even
nowhere.
home
right?
games are
It's not even in the
always-
state.
So yeah, like if you play on a Monday night and you play until 11 o'clock at night, then you got to drive an hour home. Like here, I mean, Commonwealth's in the middle of the town, in the middle of the city, right? Like
And you could
it's
take a train.
You can take a train,
Which is actually really
you can
For
get
free.
around. Yeah, like it's not. Wow, are you on the payroll too?
No, I may as well be. though.
I used the train a lot this summer and stuff, and it was actually, it's been years since I was on it, and it was great. The whole stadium, they've renovated it. That's really well done. I'm just going to throw that out there. Well done, City. You got that part of the LRT right.
Yeah, hey, they got the other leg open now too. Hey, so
Yeah.
look out.
Yeah, it's
GG.
just a few years delayed and a few, you know,
know you'll appreciate
Band-Aids
this.
put on it, but we're good. We're good.
I scoot to the games. My brother and I scoot to the games.
On the same scooter?
On the same
That's
scooter.
fantastic.
Oh,
Well, we did that once. It was a terrible idea.
See, we did that in Chicago. We rode bikes to Soldier Field from downtown
cool.
Chicago. So the
That's
bike,
cool.
It's awesome. You go right along like the waterfront, and there's trails and everything. And
Yeah.
then you just drop your bike. You don't care. There's another one out there. When you get finished, it's perfect.
First of all, it's respectable because it's
Yeah.
a bike.
Yeah.
Secondly, that is beautiful and scenic and an experience in itself. So that's really cool. Whereas me and my dork ass brother are on lines on the bike lanes.
Why
until
is he the
100
dork in all of
We're
this?
both dorks. Everybody
Yeah,
knows that.
just-
Yeah.
So we
I got to
go-
defend Paula here a little bit.
We use the bike lanes.
Yeah.
And they're amazing because they're always clear.
Sure, yeah.
And then you go down 107th, and I'm not gonna lie, we hit that little ringer very obnoxiously to warn people that we're coming. It's like,
game
we're
day,
gonna-
man. Yeah.
Game day, you gotta
gotta
make some
get there.
and then
noise.
we park it at Santa Maria Goretti, and I always say to my brother, I'm like, we're allowed to park here. Our uncle was the first child ever baptized here. And sure enough, we're good to go, and we join the tailgate. It's a fun time, and I'll ask my brother, I'm like, do you want to just hop on the train? Like the station's a block away from my place. He's like, no, dude, we're scooting. And you know what? I'm always cool with the scoot over to the ring or to the stadium.
That's great.
I actually did it for the Heritage Classic.
Nice.
I'm like,
Yeah, you
how
got
the-
there in a great
How
time,
the
too.
hell am I going to get? I had to do the show from my place, the Satellite Studios, EST Satellite Studios. I'm like, how the hell am I going to get there in time for the game?
And you look out the window and there's this little
like,
green scooter.
Reserve a
the
line.
sun shining perfectly on it. This little bounce off of it.
And away I went in a suit. And I did it on the way back. I'm seeing people outside the stadium. I'm like, there's like 8 minutes left in the game. I'm like, I got to get to my place. I got to watch the end of the game.
Yeah.
And I'm scooting back. People are like, Tom, are you actually hopping on a scooter? Why don't you come on the shuttle bus? Beautiful shuttle buses. I'm like, I got to get there in like 5 minutes. And I'm just zipping
You actually
through.
got there though in incredible
I
time.
made great time.
Me and Dusty were stunned when you showed
Yeah.
up.
That's-
Oh, and you actually stopped for a meal too.
I did. I had the medium meal before the game.
You went for the medium meal.
Italian meal.
Yeah, it was fantastic. Anyway, I love the football game day. You know,
Yeah.
like part of the day is getting to the stadium.
Oh, there's that whole
Part of the
excitement.
game
Yeah.
is having a tailgate, seeing people. Jerry pours you a little
Game
sluice-
secondary most
Yeah.
of the time. Like,
Well,
Yeah.
Even college game day, just watching that all Saturday morning, getting ready for the games that day. Grey Cup, watching the pregame on Sunday.
Yeah.
Like,
That
it was
was
just getting fired up for this game. I didn't watch any NFL. I watched that entire pregame just
Hell
to
of a
get
game,
fired
too.
up.
great game.
I watched
Amazing
the
game.
Cardinals. It was disappointing. So Grey Cup was nice.
What did you expect?
Yeah, exactly.
Disappointment.
Okay.
Yeah. No, I got
So
it.
it lived up to what you expected
Totally.
at least. Yeah, Grey Cup was.
That was good.
I don't think you could. The CFL could have asked for a better game. Like it was
Yeah.
start to finish.
Yeah. It wasn't a blowout. It wasn't boring. The right team won, in my mind.
I'm with you.
Yeah.
I did not want to.
There were
see
a lot
the
of
Bombers
Montreal fans in the city, hey?
Maybe not like born and
Yeah.
bred Montreal,
Yeah.
but yeah,
But that
there's
day.
there's
That
a
day.
few that day.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Apparently,
Yeah.
the crowd there was very pro Montreal
Yeah.
too.
Oh, for sure.
Like, do you get tired of Winnipeg? I mean, I know you're a Rider fan, so you hate Winnipeg,
Yeah.
period. But, like, do you get tired of the same
Yes.
team 4 in a row?
That's
think
part of
so.
it for me.
Yeah, I think so.
I'm like that. They just keep getting there. Also, just from being from Edmonton and growing up
Yeah.
as Eskimos Elks
the
fan.
5 in a row.
That's the last dynasty.
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
don't want the Bombers to be the next
Yeah.
dynasty. I want the last dynasty to still to be. It was that 5 in a row team.
And, like, 2 out of 4 is like, whatever, right?
It's not.
But like had they won 3, it'd been like, okay.
You can't argue
Yeah.
at that point.
Yeah, yeah.
Especially because of the cap world, because of the way things change. If
Right.
you win 3 or 4 and you were there 4 times, yeah, you're a dynasty. Like
Yeah.
they fully get
I'd love
that.
for them to really look into their cap. Like I have no idea how
Because
that
players
team,
have taken cuts.
but that
players
much
have-
are they
absolutely.
literally working for like
Well,
A&W
enough.
gift cards and like
Instead of going to get that 150, they're settling for 110, let's say. And that all adds up. If everyone's doing that, it all adds up.
it should add up to like a player.
Well, have you seen their free agency right now?
Yeah.
Their
For
list?
sure. Yeah.
Yeah.
But
They ain't bringing everyone back this time.
No, definitely not.
Do
But,
they all work for Winnipeg Hydro by any chance in the
exactly.
off season?
like, there's something got to be there where they're because like
If everyone's given
Dembski,
25, 30K,
right,
that's
But that
that's
should-
slowly
okay.
because we're only talking about some of the big players, right?
right.
How many people are really
So
making
there's
over
no
100K?
there's no middle class with the Bombers.
Probably
You're either
not.
making big money or nothing.
Well, that's not big money though. It's the only big well, there's Zach Collaros probably,
Right.
Yeah.
and then there's everyone
Kenny
else.
Lawler's got to be
Kenny
doing
Yeah,
Lawler.
it.
and then
Yeah.
there's
Dembski's
everyone
got to be
else.
making
Big
money.
Hill.
Big Hill.
Yeah.
But
you
more,
got-
they can make more if they went somewhere else, probably.
I'm sure. Well, Lawler took a cut to come back, and that's
Yes.
we know that. But still, you got Jefferson, you got Jeff Coat, like
Oliveira.
you got all those guys. Stanley Bryan's probably making good
Yeah.
coin. Patty
Oh, he
Neufeld's
would be.
making
Yeah.
good.
Yeah.
Free agents.
Like I just don't understand.
The Bombers actually, depending on who they bring back, could really fall next year, I think.
And that's good. I'm totally fine with
Because-
it. That's one of the reasons why I was really happy that Montreal won. Like, like you're saying, being there 4 times, like you get sick of it. But like, I'm sick of the team.
Yeah.
Like Collaros, like he just seems to be a poor loser in my mind. I don't
Well,
know. And I'm
he's
gonna
done
piss
it
people
quite
off.
a bit. So
No, but like anytime he seems to lose it, like and Mike O'Shea too. Like
I like Michael.
I like
O'Shea.
Oh,
Mike
I know.
know.
God, no.
No?
He's
No.
dirty player when he played, and he's probably just as dirty now as a coach.
His assistants were never allowed to speak.
Yeah. That's
That always
Yeah,
boils.
it's
kinda
So from a
bullshit.
radio
That's weird.
perspective, when you're trying to book
Remember you
guests or
telling me about
something,
that.
and it's just like, hey, can we get the OC on or
Yeah,
something? No,
like-
only Mike O'Shea speaks. He's the only one that speaks.
And he's unavailable.
And, and it's just like, okay, cool. Like
Yeah.
that's great
Sweet.
for this league. That's great to support
Yeah.
this league.
And, like-
so that's a personal thing that it's just I don't like Mike O'Shea.
And like Buck Pierce is a really good person to talk to. He's
Yeah.
a great interview. Like I've had him on back in the day when he was with the other teams that were quarterbacking, and it's just like this guy's smart. I like talking to him, and now like you don't even realize he's coaching there anymore.
Yeah.
Richie Hall is
Richie Hall's amazing.
is a
Yeah.
legend in the league. You can't even
Yeah.
have a word with him. Like that's awesome.
It's stupid, but
Yeah.
So that's why there's a personal. I don't
I
like Mike
understand.
O'Shea
that's
for
fair.
that one.
I was gonna like when you talk about 4 in a row, like you look at Buffalo Bills. Are you guys old enough to remember?
Oh, yeah.
Like I mean,
CG,
I know
you're
of
like
it,
a
but
year
not
older
enough.
than me.
no, you're young.
Okay.
Yeah, but like did you get? I hated the Bills when I was a kid, so it didn't matter. But like, did you get sick of them when they didn't win? They were there every year. I mean, they were played Dallas twice too.
Yeah.
So
That was before.
I liked
yeah,
Green Bay
Matt's too
back
young for
then
this.
too.
Yeah, I was just kind of liked who won, so I
Yeah.
never liked Buffalo.
I feel like it would be like because they're not winning.
Yeah,
You're
but
okay with it.
You
to
just
a
get so
degree.
sick of seeing the same teams. I know the CFL's got 9 teams, so it's tough. But man, you get sick
But
of seeing the
them
same
too,
teams.
like the team, the fans, like it's. I know everyone hates Saskatchewan fans, but Winnipeg fans, they got to be the worst.
I love the rivalry between
Yeah.
Winnipeg and Saskatchewan.
There wasn't one really. They were just
When
kind
did
of
that kick up?
when they started doing good.
Was it the banjo thing? Wasn't it?
Yeah,
That's where it
wasn't it?
really took
Yeah,
off.
that was just sort of I don't know.
Troy Westwood when
Yeah.
he said that?
Idiot kickers, right? According to
Idiot-
some quarterbacks.
Yeah, but it was. I still find it. I find it funny that like it's supposed to be a knock at people from Saskatchewan, but when you actually watch the game, the only people that are playing banjos on that day are Winnipeg fans. Like, okay, cool. Yeah. I can
that.
see if you dressed up as a Saskatchewan fan, as a Winnipeg fan, and did that,
Yeah.
but like you're wearing the Bombers colors.
Yeah.
You got your buck teeth in, like, okay, go for it.
That's like a self-own.
I know, like,
Yeah.
well, awesome, cool. We don't recognize it.
I love that, Lucas. Okay.
Yeah, that's
Whatever.
what it is.
The Bombers' entire offensive line is free agents. That's my point. That's where I
Yeah.
could see them. If
And
they,
if Chris
and
Jones on line one.
Well, that's the thing. If you're other teams out there, especially if you're the Edmonton Elks, you're looking at some of those guys going,
Riders.
"We've got money. We've
Yeah.
got money
Riders
to
need a
spend
no
a little
line.
bit on that position. Get to free agency. We'll be ready to go." And so, if you're ready to walk away from the Bombers, you're like, "Okay, now it's time for payday or something." That's where the Bombers could start seeing the little drop off if they can't keep.
And if
They
Brady
need to have at least 3 of those guys.
And if Brady goes away too to the NFL,
Yeah.
which is a tough thing to do.
Sure.
Running backs don't go to the NFL too often.
yeah. But if you can get on a practice roster, look like
Sure.
Chris Drevler, right? Like,
Oh yeah,
he'll sit there holding a clipboard.
yeah. He's a
Not-
preseason god
Yeah,
Yeah.
in the NFL. Like
When you don't have to throw the ball.
yeah.
There's no pressure.
Yeah,
No one cares.
Yeah.
I don't get how he's lasted like longer than so many other quarterbacks from the
I know.
CFL
I had
down there.
hope for
you
him
know?
when he took over for Kyler Murray briefly. I was like, maybe Strev can do it. Like when they'll cheer for him now, and then it was like, no, he's just
can't throw.
No,
Yeah.
that's true.
Which is kind of important
Kind
for
of
that
important,
position.
yeah.
I think
From
he-
what I've been told.
I think maybe he's just forgot about it. He just, he sits quietly, doesn't cause
Down
any,
there?
and just everyone forgets that he's even on the team. He just keeps getting a paycheck each
Hell
week.
yeah.
And he's like,
Yeah.
I'll take the back stall. Like, that's totally fine. It's kind of like Costanza when he gets that job that he didn't get the job. And he takes the small office, like, sure.
Even during Hard Knocks, he's in the background of some shots, and like they cut him 2 weeks ago. What's he still doing hanging out here? Like what?
Just a glue
Just
guy.
shows up.
Yeah, it was like weird. I'm like, wait a second, we're in week 3 of the preseason. They cut him in week 1, and there he is, just hanging out.
But somehow gets the paycheck.
Yeah.
Still somehow gets it reverse of Office Space. Or no, he still got the paycheck too. So the
Yeah.
Office
Yeah.
Space guy. So that's there's talk of him coming back too to the CFL.
But what is he if
Sure.
he comes back? Like
quarterback.
Is he a starter? No.
No,
can't
well,
be
but
a
that's the thing.
starter.
Like, what happens to Bo Levi Mitchell? What happens to Dane Evans and what happens to Jeremiah Mazzola this offseason? There's not a lot of quarterbacking
man.
positions
Will
open.
Mazzoli even be ready?
Yeah,
They just say that he
Mazzoli's
might not
been
either.
gone.
So does I'd say Dane Evans go to Ottawa in the meantime.
Maybe.
I don't know.
What about Bo? Why wouldn't he go to Ottawa? Or does he stay in Hamilton? And then what does Hamilton do? Do they go Powell? Do they go Schultz? Does Strebler come in? Do the Riders go for a quarterback? Or is Dolegala your guy?
We got Harris under contract for another year.
Right, forgot about him. But he's
Yeah.
also. At what point do you start the transition to finding the
Well,
next quarterback?
I personally would like to keep
You also need a coach.
Dolegala. Yeah. Which is starting this week, I think. And they're talking with Milanovic, or they talked to him yesterday or sometime
Yeah.
this week. But I think Dolegala's
Oh.
got an upside. And if he can go underneath, not go underneath, but if he can go learn from Harris, I think that would be good. I think he's got a better upside than Mason Fine for sure.
What do you got?
I just got some news from the Elks, actually.
Oh, no.
Oh, look at that.
Special committee created to review Edmonton Elks ownership structure. With the goal of ensuring professional football continues to thrive in Northern Alberta, the Edmonton Football Club Board of Directors has created a special committee to conduct a review of the Edmonton Elks ownership structure, the club announced Thursday. The creation of the 5-person special committee was approved by the board late last month, so that kind of makes sense of why we also heard Rick staying. The special committee consists of current board members Tom Richards, Brent Heshji, and Daryl Boysencool.
Bozencool.
Bozencool,
DB. I worked
sorry.
with DB at OEG.
Okay.
He's a good dude.
Apologies. They're joined by previous board members Diana Brickner and Bruce Bentley, who serves as chair of the committee. Current Elks president and CEO Rick Lawlisher serves on the committee as a non-voting member. So the Edmonton Elks announcing a review committee to review. Basically, this is now the full process of going away from community ownership and moving towards
Private.
private ownership.
They're selling. They're open for business. So if you have a few schmel, want to buy a football team, call Rick.
I'd be intrigued what they go for price wise. Because what are you
don't
really
know.
paying for? You don't get a stadium out of it.
Yeah.
You're paying for
The roster,
equipment and
salary.
rights and the staff.
Yeah.
But now the question is, who's ready to jump up and pay for this?
Well, you said that there were some people
There
who were
were.
interested.
There was a group that did sniff around and walked away. I think it was like a year and a half ago. There are some deep pockets in our city, that's for sure, and there would be some interested parties.
What about I know with Toronto and what is it, the Maple Leaf Sports
Yeah.
Center? Would you guys be happy if the Oilers Entertainment
I
Group
personally
went?
wouldn't, Luke.
No? Yeah.
I don't. I think that's too
I
much
think that-
power in the sports market
Yep.
in this city.
That's
Although
a
I've had
tough one
people
for me.
from that organization say that there would be interest, which I don't like.
No, me
that's just
neither.
me personally.
I agree.
I want someone to be focused
Yeah.
on them and them alone.
I think there's some smart business people in our community. Go ahead, Matty.
Well, there's good and bad to the Oilers. One, I'm happy the Oilers are around because I do believe that if no one steps up, I think the Oilers will just take it because they'll get probably for very
Probably.
cheap. If they can't find anyone, I think the Oilers will be like, we'll take
could
it.
find someone.
Here's a mill, whatever. We'll take it. We'll do it. And we don't have this team's not going anywhere like that. We don't have to worry about. They will have some sort of ownership
of
at some
course.
point, even if it is the Oilers. Where I'm okay with the Oilers is they are a beast, and if they want to market it, they can market it, and all of a sudden the Edmonton Elks logo will be inside Rogers Place for 41 nights a year.
But if they don't,
And
then
they're part
I don't
of
like it.
I don't like it at all.
Yeah.
they'll be on the board and like, hey, whistle in the first period. Make sure you get your Elks season tickets. Here, you'll have the ticketing of the Oilers go out there. Like, you do have now the Oilers backing you. And there is a value in that. However, on the flip side, to more what I think you guys are, like, look at what Randy Gregg and the whole Riverhawks committee built without the Edmonton Oilers.
Exactly.
They've come in, and now it's a smaller scale,
Yeah.
but they've come on, they've built something that's theirs. And it doesn't have the Oilers controlling it and ultimately always just being that side piece compared to the Oilers being the focus, and then maybe the Oil Kings and the Elks. I don't know how they would order that out, but I'm not as against it maybe as you guys immediately going no, because there's the marketing behind the Edmonton Oilers, the power in this city of the Edmonton Oilers. They put a bag of air for sale and put an Oilers logo on it. They could probably sell it.
Sad
So
but
now,
true.
if you're going to throw the Elks logo on next to the Oilers, hey, Connor McDavid, Leon Draisaitl are going to be at a football game one day. Awesome. And then does that get people? Like,
No,
that's the value I see in it.
But they have those things happen anyway, right? Those guys come. I mean, not necessarily those two, but they have guys come to games. What does it
Yeah,
matter?
they do.
Like,
There's lots of
Vander
NHLers
Kane
that
was
go to
there
those
this year
games.
and wasn't
Yeah.
a big deal.
I didn't even know who was there.
After spending like 10 years working with one of their smaller pieces of the organization, they just it's like, who cares? It's the family brands. We're all about the Oilers. Everything else is, we just do it to make money. And the Elks, we treat it that way too. I think
agree.
maybe I'm wrong. Maybe I'm completely wrong.
No,
and that's
you're
fine.
not.
But
CG, your instincts are bang
I just
on, I think.
I don't like that one bit.
Yeah.
But
I think that the model for the new modern owner in the CFL is Amar Doman in Vancouver.
yeah.
Caretaker Bob
Yeah.
in Hamilton has done a nice job quietly. And then now, by all accounts, I talked to Jason Moss a few weeks ago when he was here during the bye week after they beat the Elks. I asked him about Palado, who took over the Alouettes, and he goes, you know what? I didn't even think the guy knew my name for the first few weeks of the season, and we started winning some games, and he's the nicest guy in the world. I know winning helps. The Grey Cup certainly will be a huge boost for him, but he was like, yeah, he stays out of it. We get everything we need. We're taken care of. The ownership is great. Now the fans are coming back on board, and then it resulted in a Grey Cup. But there are some really good individual private owners in the CFL now that I think the model and template is there. Edmonton should follow suit, and there is people with deep pockets in the city
Yeah.
who could buy this team and operate it.
Yeah, and they're
make a
football
profit.
fans too, right?
Yeah.
Like there's people that'll put football first, and I think that's going to be the most important
Exactly.
thing for me, at least.
Yeah.
But then the challenge you always are going to have is now you got to compete with the Oilers, and the Oilers
you've
aren't
done that
exactly
for-
the most.
Matty,
They're always
you've
not
done
the
that
most
for-
welcoming.
Why do you got to compete?
Yeah.
Because
Two
the Oilers
separate times
aren't
a year.
exactly open to allowing helping others.
No.
Always. That's
No.
not. They're not known in this city for making
Because
it
they
easy.
don't.
For
They
making it
did.
But
easy.
just don't worry about the
It's
others.
not about
Go
that,
and do
but
your own
it's-
thing. Like the
But
Riverhawks.
it's even just it's you want to have a nice working relationship with other teams, and the Oilers over the years have not. Now I don't know about recent years, but I know in the past they haven't done that. Where they'll schedule a press conference or when the Elks are trying to do something. And that's like they take, and with the media landscape and how limited it is, you kind of want that cooperation. Like, hey, you need some help. Now, again, I don't know what it's fully like nowadays, but that's where like the Oilers dominate the market. The Oilers, they clear their throat. Everyone listens.
But they would still do the same thing whether they own the team or
Yeah,
not.
that's the thing. They don't care about the other.
right, but
They're
then
still going to own the market, and they're still going to do their
but
things
now
that they want to do, no
but they
matter
still
what
have
game
an.
day.
They don't want to lose money with the Elks, right? So they're going to try to win there. Whereas the new owner comes in, and if it's different, you are now. How much are the Oilers really going to be there to be cooperative, or is it now? You're battling with the Oilers, and it's not a win. You will not beat the Edmonton Oilers in this market.
No, but again, like I don't think you need to battle. You have over half of your season outside of theirs.
Yeah.
Like you can just go about doing your own thing,
You can
right?
coexist cordially.
And build your own
But the
brand
Oilers
so
have
that
to be on
people
board
want to
with
come
that.
and they may pick you over the Oilers at certain times.
But it's not cordial if the Oilers don't want to be cordial. That's my point.
Well, the
And
Oilers
that's where-
should be cordial because they're
should
not
be.
doing any
Right.
favors to the fan base,
They
or
should
anybody in the
be.
city right now.
They should be, but that doesn't mean that they will. There's a
They-
reason Bob Nicholson went on Mark Conley's CBC show when he got hired, or a couple years after he got hired, saying there's an arrogance around this city that we needed, or this organization we need to try to get rid of.
And they've done a good job of that, hey?
Well, that's the thing. Like,
Sorry.
there
And
is
I was
that
working
there, so
for them at
it's-
the time.
I'm
I
with
knew
you.
it.
They should do that. They
yeah.
should be more open to helping everyone else in this city, but that doesn't mean they will. And so
I don't
that's
think they ever will.
No,
They
I
used to.
Totally agree with Tom.
And whether they buy the team or not, I don't think they will either.
absolutely will because now they have a vested interest.
It's
It's the same. Like,
I would
it's-
say for a
they're-
year, and then it's just it'll fall by the wayside.
No,
And
they
you'll
did.
be
They
like,
did really good with the Capitals.
Oh yeah,
They did.
okay.
They put care into that. Now, like, look, they're not going to get
do
the
they
most.
with the Oil Kings too.
It was always a struggle with the
Yeah.
Oil Kings to get any sort of attention
Right.
Yeah.
within the organization. I
But
always
that one
found.
is a
And
direct competition with the Oilers now.
How is it direct?
So, well, like in
competition?
terms of the
Like,
same time of period, I'm saying, like,
Okay,
because you're
same
going with the
time of year,
schedule.
that's fine.
You're
Yeah.
now competing with the same dollars in a sense there.
Yeah.
With the Capitals, they actually did a pretty good job. They actually did put a care into that. They did, build a fun product, and
Fair.
the league went away,
Yeah.
and that's why the Capitals went away.
Fair. Okay.
But that Capitals team, if that league doesn't go away, the Capitals still would have been playing for a few years down at Telus at the time.
Would you still be wearing the mascot uniform?
Would I?
Yeah, didn't you wear that a lot?
all the time? I thought I looked good in it.
Yeah, I thought so too. Captain
Thank you. Yeah. Puffed up my chest a bit.
Not a boy.
Matty, I mean, Randy Gregg and his crew went in and they fixed up Remax Field.
Yep.
Yeah.
The Oilers weren't doing that.
I'd
they
love
were
to
they
see-
were looking at the city, going, "Hey, you're gonna fix this?
Yeah.
Look at the infield turf. It's when the Twins came in here and bought the team, or not bought the team, but were the affiliate, and they wanted the same infield as the Metrodome. And then that was like 2002.
Yeah.
And they used that same crappy field until Randy Gregg went in and was like, "This, we can't have this. We got to put in a new field."
Yeah.
When he literally was painting the benches in the dugouts. So, I mean, the Oilers did care to a certain extent about the Capitals, but not anywhere near as much as, pardon me, a different owner
Yeah.
would and does. And that's that's just one example, but it is true.
And I just
Thank
think,
you.
like in the CFL,
want
like it's pro sports. It's not, I mean, Capitals.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's baseball. It's small minor league baseball. CFL is supposed to be big time in Canada.
it's
It's
like an
not,
issue.
but it's supposed to be, right?
And I'd love to see them stand on their own.
Yeah.
There'd be like, if you're doing this, like, I don't know. I would hate to see them go in bed with like the Oilers and regret it in 2 seasons.
Yeah.
And get as much eyes on you that Maple Leaf Sports Entertainment does for the Argos.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know how that helps.
A text came in and says, with the ownership structure in Calgary, the Stamps get ignored by Flames
you
ownership.
go.
Yeah.
I've heard that they're looking to unload
Yep.
the Stamps, the
Yep.
Flames, Calgary Sports and Entertainment.
Yep.
The doc also saying, though, again, with the Capitals, the Oilers did a very good job with the Edmonton Capitals baseball team. It was a great cross-promotional project that I thought was done tastefully and didn't take away from the baseball team. I feel they could do the same with the Elks. So
How long ago
it's-
was that?
That would have been
like
the
10
early
years ago.
10s,
Okay.
Yeah.
2010, 2014, in that range.
Yeah.
That they were there. It was probably about 3 or 4 years.
2012, they won the championship.
Yeah, I think so. Yeah.
So 2010
was
to
the year they had the big
2012,
years.
about maybe.
Yeah,
It was
that
2 or
area.
3 years.
Yeah, it wasn't a long run.
No, and they wanted to try to get another team once the Capitals, the league folded, and there really wasn't one. And then I don't know if there was the full interest in them to fully try to get that going. But like, look, here, there's a reason the Rush aren't in town anymore.
Yep.
That's because they competed with the Oilers to a degree.
Yep.
Now, the owner of the Rush really went against the Edmonton Oilers and kind of made it known
Well, they
let's
shared
go.
a building too.
Yeah, absolutely.
There is
but,
a lot more.
but that's the power of whoever comes in. You got to make sure you try to have some sort of working relationship then with the Oilers, because you do need, even if it's not their help, them to be cordial with you.
Yeah.
Sure.
I mean,
That's what you need, and that's where that's again. I just go back to, yeah, I want somebody who, if I had a first choice, cared about the Elks first and foremost. But I'm also not. I could see a potential of the Oilers being okay for this franchise. Not great. I'm not going to sit here and say it's going to be the greatest thing, but I could see it being okay for this franchise. They're in a dire spot right now.
But
They're in a very dire spot. And
yeah, so
if that means
is
the
okay
Oilers,
is okay good enough then? Or-
if that means them playing football still at Commonwealth, yes, I'm okay with okay.
I guess.
That's where I'll go to with this. If it means that we keep Elks football in the Canadian Football League, then yes, I'm okay with okay.
when you say they're in a dire spot, what gets them out? Is it just winning games? Is it like
I think so.
so?
Because how many good years has this team had since they win the Grey Cup in 05?
Yeah, and then
so
they won in
06
15,
to 13,
right?
14, 15 home
Yeah.
playoff dates,
Yeah.
great football
Yeah.
teams.
And that was about
12, I think they had a home playoff date with Jerome Messam as their running back.
Yeah.
Outside of that, they've been garbage.
Oh yeah, for sure. Like there was a time when they had that 34-year streak or whatever, got ended, and then it was never the same after that. Then they had the Mike Riley little run, and that was about it. And since then, it's been tough. Right?
It's been a lot bad and not a lot of good.
No,
and it's not a recent losing streak,
No.
like a losing for this team. So that's where it's like it'd be nice to see what this team could do with the fan base after 3 straight years of a good football team.
and not to be like make excuses, but they ran into some unfortunate things with COVID and Scott Milanovic.
Yep.
Right, like that set them back huge. Bringing in Jamie Elizondo was a mistake.
Yeah.
Right, like that. And
The name
obviously-
change was
The name
actually
change-
costly. Like,
Yeah, the name
It
changed.
came
like,
at a bad.
It came at a bad time, but it had to be done.
It did. Yeah.
People need to get over it. It's
Yes.
Name.
Who cares? Like honestly, who cares?
And the best attended game in the last 10 years was this season under the
and it's-
Elks brand.
And I get it. I get people like, oh, my whole life I've cheered for this team. I get it, but you're cheering for laundry, right? Like talk about Dave Jameson's lines. Like that's what you're cheering for. Is laundry at the end of the
They
day.
kept the logo. They kept the
Yeah.
colors. They kept like.
Now the first year they switched. They
Yeah.
screwed
The-
up
the- yes, yeah,
with the
yeah.
elk call and the elk antlers. Like they should have they kept the logo, put the logo on the helmet,
Yeah.
keep it same.
like what's a Packer?
Yeah,
What is that?
yeah. It's a
I
meat
don't know,
packer.
but they
right?
like the
Manufacturing?
team.
It's Acme Packers.
Yeah, like
meat packing
making
company.
box.
But yeah,
Making boxes.
yeah.
Like it's just the name, but the logo, the double E, all that,
Yeah.
the laundry, like you said.
Yeah.
They
I was-
lost.
Unless
I
you're
was-
a little kid, you don't cheer for a team because of the nickname.
I was
No.
more upset as a Rider fan. They kept the name, and for a game, they went back to these red and black jerseys.
I remember those.
Yeah.
Like that was like, what are you doing?
Yeah, it was like a
Yeah.
heritage
The
game.
heritage
or
Yeah,
game.
I know.
whatever.
I know.
Yeah.
It's like for like the
Yeah,
Regina
yeah.
Rugby Club,
Yeah.
but like, okay, there's other
Yeah.
retro stuff you can use. Like, I
want
and
more
and
retro
the
stuff,
the argument too that like it's cursed by you changing the name. Like, are we really believing this? Like, is this?
The Detroit Lions have a great name, logo, and look, and they haven't won a playoff. They
Yeah.
won one playoff game in what? Like
Maybe it's
50 years?
cursed.
Yeah, they're cursed.
Voodoo witch.
Yeah.
Like if we actually believe that,
Yeah.
then like they believe there's a tooth fairy, like which there is, kids for sure. But like,
Yes.
like, come on, it's a name.
Yeah.
It is a name.
They lost a lot of people, a lot of the older
There were some bad things
Elks fans when
said.
the old white guy's comment
Yep.
was made.
Yep.
My uncle still, he was a diehard.
Yep.
He went to Santa Maria Goretti Church, went to Clark Stadium, went to Commonwealth, watched the team in the 80s.
Would he have gotten behind the name if that wasn't?
I don't think he gives 2 iotas
Yeah.
about the name. He makes fun of it because it's
Yeah.
convenient. But when they said we have a lot of old white guys, he's like, I'm just a wallet to them. And he's to this day still pissed off. And
Well,
I think there's a bunch of people that
I
are
will
like,
say
really,
this.
that's
Every
how you
fan
feel.
is just a wallet
You're
to
a
these
wallet
teams.
to
Yeah,
these
That's,
exactly.
that's the harsh
That's
reality of sports.
100%.
We know
you
it.
wanna-
Kevin Lowe isn't.
If you want to go to
like,
Rogers and
yeah.
buy a $50 hamburger
You're
and
a
not
wallet.
think you're a
Yeah.
wallet to
Yeah.
these guys,
100%.
But it's everybody knows it.
Yeah.
But just don't say it and throw
But
it
there
in.
does
their
come a
faces.
point where you
Yeah.
can get over certain
I
things.
know, and
will
I'm
say that.
working
like,
on
no,
it.
that's
Hard-
because
hard truth,
it's-
man.
like
Hard
Kevin
truth.
Lowe's not wrong when it comes to tier 1 fan type things. Like it's not to take away your fandom, but
Never say that,
for the Oilers. If you're a season ticket holder, yeah, you matter a little more for their bottom line that they're going to have the interest.
Yeah.
But you can't say it a lot. But at some point, you kind of move on.
You just can't say it.
I remember I
we
text
know-
Dave because Dave was off at the time. And I remember we were running that press conference. As soon as he said that, I text Dave. I'm like, "Oh no, oh no, Dave!"
Yeah.
And then he's like, "Oh boy!" Like
That's some marketing.
it was
guy
one of
in the
those that you
boardroom.
just sit
Yeah.
there. Once it was
Yeah.
said too, it was just like, "Oh
Some guy
crap,
just-
they screwed this
You,
up."
you said that
Yeah.
behind closed doors
Yeah.
and it was not supposed
Luke,
to.
that was a
Yeah.
marketing
Yeah.
term. Some
Yeah.
marketing guy in a boardroom. So guys are tier 1 fans or longtime
Yeah.
season seat holders in the gold section or the suites. Tier
Yeah.
2 fans or season seat holders, tier 3 fans, people who might come to a game but watch us on TV. So I guarantee that was something that was said in a boardroom in a marketing meeting. 'cause
Yeah, 100%.
I was like, that is marketing talk.
Yeah.
101.
Yeah, and when they say we have the greatest fans, it's not because they're loud or they cheer. It's because they keep spending money.
Yes.
That's why you have the greatest fans.
Yeah.
Because they continue to buy your stuff and they continue to. But
no matter what you do.
no matter what,
Bombers
how
are the
you do.
loudest.
Oh yeah,
cares?
for sure. Yeah, loudest. Okay.
loudest. Yeah,
I wonder how much like. I would love to see if there's anything coming out of those speakers at those games. Like I would not doubt it.
I'll say for the Elks too. Like if let's say there is a group that comes together, because I don't think there'll be an individual that buys this team, I think there'll be a group of individuals that come together and buy this team. It'll still be community owned then, in the sense, right?
Yeah.
Like the community ownership right now, it's not like any of us can go buy a share in the Edmonton Elks and be a part owner. It is actually only owned by a select group of people.
And
right
the Riders
now that
did
own
that.
it.
You could go
But the
we
Elks,
bought a share.
but that's not the Elks community share.
No,
They've
I know.
never
It's
put
different.
shares up like that.
Yeah.
There wasn't the drive.
But
It's
I
not
think-
like we're the Packers. Here's our share of this.
But I think that's-
so. If you have a group of 8 people that come by this team, it still really is going to be community owned.
But I also like back to your point, Corey, too, about like what can you do to get this like more, rejuvenated, and like that could be something. Like I know when they did sell those shares for the Riders, like you are now an owner of the team, and you took that, you got that sticker, you put it on your car or whatever. That could be something. Another thing too, and they are doing it, closing that upper bowl, right? Like. That stadium, you love it. I know you do. Like for other events, Metallica, World Cups that we don't get. Like
Thanks, FIFA.
Yeah.
Good job, Toronto, with your showing up. Good job showing up for Canada this week. Great job, Toronto.
I get it. That stadium is big and it looks great, and you get a lot of other things. But for the CFL, when you're watching on TV and you're still getting, let's say you're getting more than Regina's getting per game, but it looks like it's a quarter full. You got to create that atmosphere inside the game, and you got to get people closer together, because when the closer you are together, the more fun you're going to have.
So
If
what are you
there's
saying?
somebody that's, pardon me?
What are you saying then? New
Well, I'm just saying
facility?
these are things like I know people.
Or the lower bowl is good. Like
Having just a lower
Yeah.
bowl is good. I know it upsets people because you've had seats in certain areas for a long time, but like, this is what needs to be done. And if you guys can get people into this building and then make it so that they need to open up the upper bowl again, then great. That's what you want.
awesome.
I think for a little, if you have a few games where you could open it up and you don't, to keep that
Yeah.
demand going,
keep
where
that
it's like,
going.
I can't remember. I think 33,000 or something, 31,000 for the lower bowl.
31,000
And that's
lower.
31,000.
perfect.
And that's
If you get
perfect.
29, 30,000,
gonna look
you don't
awesome.
say we're about to open up the upper bowl.
Yeah.
No.
You say there's only 1,000 tickets left, and that's it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And you
we-
want
and you
to
sell
be
out
there
that lower
week.
bowl a few times, and then you get to the point where it's we're going to open up a couple sections in the upper bowl for this game if it's high, and you build that supply and demand. Where for my entire life growing up in this city, it was you wanted to go to an Elks game or Eskimo game at the time, you could choose day of. Because there was no worry about whether you're going to get a ticket or not. You could just go, even when there's 50,000 people. There's still 10,000 tickets at the time.
Last year I did a walk up and I bought
Yeah.
the cheapest ticket and then went and sat down
That's-
with you guys. Like,
Yeah.
And
that was
that's
awesome.
why
Cool.
it's like you need to build that demand where it's, hey, if they sell 31,000 4 straight games, cool, keep it there.
and it looks good on TV.
Looks
You
good on
want to
TV.
be
It
there.
looks good
People
in the
have like,
stadium.
yeah,
They
create a buzz.
That's what the Riverhawks do.
There's I think they said there's like 1,000 or 1,500 actual accounts that have seats in the upper deck left as season seat holders, and about 3,500 tickets per game that are up in the upper deck that are being displaced. And I've been to the stadium. I've talked to other season seat holders. They're like, we have to move our seats. I don't like it. We've been there forever. It's like, yeah, but you're getting better seats.
Yeah.
But it's
And
more
at
money.
the same for
one
price.
year.
For
For
how
1
long?
year.
How long?
Well,
that's the thing.
yeah.
You get it for 1 year, but then all of a sudden the price is going to
That's
go
going
up.
to be the
By what?
interesting.
That's
$5
the
bucks?
issue for them.
You're gonna be mad
then
about $5?
You know,
I think
like,
it might be
give them
more
a
than
card.
that.
Let them buy their tickets
Like,
in the area
take-
for like as a grandfather in.
grandfather,
like, let
yeah.
that
That's what they're
happen.
doing.
If you
Yeah.
but then the problem
But-
is now I have season seats in the same area, and these people are getting cheaper than me. That's the
always
risk
the
that you have
argument,
with all
right?
this. So like, it's,
But sorry, we
'cause,
took
like, those-
something away from them, so they do
Yeah.
get something.
Yeah.
like that's.
But then
I
it's
think
okay. Well, I'm
understandable.
gonna
You
walk
should've
away
set up
from my
there.
tickets because you're
Why?
not supporting. I'm not getting anything. That's how some people think, right?
well,
Like
you'll
here's
get
but here's the
concessions,
not
or you'll get
everybody is
parking, or
not
you'll
everybody
get-
gets everything.
Yeah.
You know,
no,
like that's
absolutely.
just the
But
way
that,
that
and
it
that's
is.
where. But or you raise because there's only 1,500 of them. You raise their prices in a couple of years. and you just-
1,500 accounts, about
Yeah.
3,000 plus tickets.
Yeah.
I mean, it's tough, right? Like, you don't want to be sitting beside somebody that paid $25 more for your seat. Like,
Yeah.
But what do? You want to have all those people in the building. Like,
But
I've
yet
always-
you'll still go to an Oiler game,
Yeah.
spend $250 for a seat, and have no problem doing it, and they can raise prices
Yeah.
every year, and you'll still go
$32
there.
double Caesar.
There you go. You know,
Yeah.
like I just find that there's always an excuse for the Elks and why you don't want to support or go, and this sucks. Blah blah. Like, okay, like again, just Figure it out. You'll go and buy $50 hamburgers and $250 tickets and go 6 days out of the week.
Yeah.
They're asking for 1 day a week.
Yeah.
And you gotta complain, but whatever.
Friend of the show, Doug McLean, text me. By the way, this is the EST Hangout presented by Mott's Clamato Caesar, Corey Graham, Lucas Holt, Matt Iwanyk, Tom Gazzola with you here. 780-218-9999 is the Paris Jewelers inbox, or you can jump into the nasty chat. Time to consider a new stadium. I've come around on this topic. Lots of money needed to reno Commonwealth that could potentially be used for a new 35,000 seat one, and that's the other part to this. Is I don't know where I'm against it. Yeah. But I also see the value of having it because you build a 35,000 seat stadium. Tommy wants closer to 40. You would potentially also get a soccer team back.
But where are you
because you'd build it. And the places I would look at, like the one would be the old racetrack at Northlands. That's a decent land. You're right off an LRT. They're looking to redevelop that. That would be one spot. But to me, then where it hurts is then we don't get Metallica. Then we don't get Luke Bryan showing to town. And they don't come a lot, but at least they come. And now we wouldn't get them. And that's the balancing act of this for me, where it's I still stick with, I think we got to make Commonwealth work. We got to renovate. We got to update it because I don't want to miss out on those things.
Wasn't one of the big reasons that...
Did you go to Luke Bryan?
I'm not a Luke Bryan fan.
Okay, so...
But you just want to miss out on it.
As a city. I know. As a city, we get...
But like,
that fills up. Yeah. Garth Brooks comes for 2 shows.
But he went to Rogers.
Fills up,
that's what I mean. Like,
and we get the economic benefit of the city.
Yeah,
but Taylor Swift's not doing a Rogers right now.
Okay.
Taylor Swift is coming for a stadium.
Yeah, is she coming here anyway?
No.
I wouldn't be surprised if she does.
Yeah. I like the whole point of the city paying for Rogers Place and giving it to the OEG and all that stuff, all the taxpayer money and stuff like that, was because, we'll get all the big concerts now. Isn't that the argument? And so now we don't have Commonwealth. We're just not going to get the big concerts, but we still have all the money invested in Rogers?
Well, because the thing is, you get, like, there's the arena shows, and we get a lot of those. We
we
went
do.
through
We
with
get a lot of
Belzy.
them. Yeah.
There's not a lot coming up at Rogers in the next calendar year at this moment when you look at it. It's quite empty.
Concerts.
There's a couple months where there's nothing right now in that arena.
been busy the
But
last couple
then
weeks.
It's sure.
there are those bands then that go to the next level, which is the stadium show.
Right. So like the Stones are
And-
playing Vancouver, but they're not playing anywhere else, right?
Well,
Yet.
And we're not getting FIFA. Toronto is under a smaller stadium.
But
You know, there
but that's
are
because of our city.
City
That is not, and then
government.
that's also because the facility needed to be renovated. It wasn't a great facility, but they're not coming. They're not coming to Edmonton for.
But again, are you wanting to keep something alive and going for like Metallica and Luke Bryan, like and AC/DC when they came 10 years ago? But like for the 2 times a year, are you gonna
because
you
people
will
from
like
Calgary come up here for Guns N' Roses.
Yeah.
Now where are we going to go if we want to see that show? We're going to go to Vancouver.
DC plays, yeah.
So we have to. So now we're sending economic dollars to the city of Vancouver, as opposed to at Calgary and Saskatchewan come here.
How many economic dollars come from Guns N' Roses compared to renovating
Garth
that
Brooks was
stadium
quite
and
a
keep
few
everything
million.
going in there?
Yeah.
But
now that's always
Garth Brooks didn't play there.
He played
He
Commonwealth.
played
He had 2 shows at Commonwealth.
2 shows at Commonwealth. That's right.
He came
But
into 2
and he
shows.
played 7 at.
He did
7
not.
or
What?
9,
How
I
much
think
was
it
that?
was
9.
Okay,
Nine.
So
on the banner.
he
He's got
could
the
do.
banner.
He could do another.
Lucas, the reason
Yeah,
why you
6
don't know
in-
this is because
You don't go to
at
Rogers Place
Commonwealth
and
they
see
don't
his
have
banner.
a banner hanging
Yeah.
saying how many Garth Brooks
right,
shows
okay.
there are.
But when
Sorry.
OEG buys it, they'll put a banner up saying Garth
Yes.
Brooks
Right.
played.
Absolutely, Garth Brooks 2 sold out
Wow,
shows.
And I'm sure they'll have a McDavid banner hanging just
Stupidest
because he
banner.
played the Heritage Classic.
Yeah.
The flip to all this then
Touche.
is if you like the thing you could potentially do to Commonwealth to get more dates there is the roof. It's designed to have a roof.
You can't put a roof over a 50-year-old stadium though.
Well, yeah.
Unless you completely renovate it.
There'd be- well,
a la
that's-
BC Place where they put 655 million into
That's
it.
the thing though, and then you get you could have a stadium that's useful 12 months of the year, not 6.
Who's going to pay for it? We're busy,
That and
we're
that's
busy
another
building
part.
an arena in
But who's going to
Calgary
pay for a
now.
35,000 seat stadium?
Yeah, I agree. I mean,
Oh,
Like,
OEG
and this,
when
and this
they
is
buy
where it all
else.
comes back to.
Yeah,
though. Like people don't want to care about soccer, but this is why the World Cup not coming here was a
Yep.
big deal.
Yeah.
Was that we were going to see an investment be put into Commonwealth Stadium
Yep.
to help update it, and now it's
That is, yeah. That's
what
a very
do we?
good
And
point.
there's all of these different like because 35,000, I think it would be great because I would love to build a stadium that's right up close to the action.
Yeah.
No track
Yeah.
around. Everyone's right there.
Yeah.
Again, as I said, the soccer maybe CPL would come back. But then we don't get those certain shows. We don't get, that Big Sky
But you
that's
can.
coming
But
this
no,
weekend.
no,
fully.
like, you can
They're not
because-
they don't come for those that little.
Well, Garth
place.
Brooks played in Regina,
but
and that was how many
he did the
seats?
arena. But like Garth Brooks is so unique in this.
Stones played Taylor Field. Like, so you can do these things.
But you don't get you're not open to all of them. If you can.
They're not open to all of them now.
Beyonce
Like, they're not all
came to
coming now.
Edmonton. I don't know
either.
what other places she's not going to McMahon. She's not going to Taylor Field.
No one's going to McMahon. You can see
that's
that in
an
the stands
awful
this year. Like
facility.
that's
Which is
that's
issue
another
in
one. Like
itself.
just switching gears.
No.
What does Calgary do to
Apparently
get
the
their fans
Dinos are
back?
working on a new stadium,
to get
but for them.
the Stamps? What do they do to
Well, I
get
know.
their fans
Well,
back?
but that's
because they've gone
But University
through.
of Calgary owns McMahon.
No, yeah.
So they're working on plans for a new stadium for the
But
Dinos.
just for the Dinos, yeah,
but they're
yikes.
not building such a big one that it could support the stands.
I just wonder though, because like you can look at the Elks and wonder why there's no one in the stands after the amount of time that they haven't won. But Calgary's been a winner.
Yeah.
They've been a winner. Besides this year, they've been a winner.
Yeah.
And they're closing sections off.
It's like
they don't even have an upper
15,000
level.
people at some of those
Yeah.
games.
Yeah. Like what did they do to get that more rejuvenated in that
That's
area?
supposed to be a good CFL market. I don't know
Yeah.
what the hell is going on there.
But
when their team's
that's-
not good, they don't support them.
Well,
But-
Well, the team, like
And
Luke
money's
said,
so
they're
tight.
been deep for so long.
They've been good.
But
think
now
though-
it's-
I think though
now
that they
they're turning
also
back.
like they're part of the Flames group too, right? Like do they get any? Do the Flames care?
No, because they're trying to sell them.
yeah.
Like it's I don't know.
It's a
Brutal.
mess.
But shame on you for wanting to get rid of the Rouge. That's just unbelievable.
I stand
Rouge,
by
yes or
that
no?
Statement.
Yeah,
it?
I like the Rouge.
There we go.
I mean,
Perfect.
it's stupid, but I like it.
I say
He said it's
if you
stupid.
It is
But he said
stupid.
keep it. But he said keep
it's,
it.
It's
If you-
like part of the, like, you can't change
if you
that.
want
DNA.
to change it
Yeah.
in one way, I would agree. A missed field goal should not result in a point. But if you punt it out of the end zone, if you don't know the rules and you kneel down in the end zone with only like a few minutes left in the game and it puts you up by one,
Or a kickoff that goes into the
Like,
end zone.
how many
That's what I'm
teams score
saying, that-
9-point touchdowns? The Riders did this year.
Yeah.
Show me another team
Got
that scored a
them a big
9-point
win.
touchdown.
got him a huge win.
Yeah.
And if you don't know,
and the
if
Elks
you,
deserve to lose that game.
because
Yeah.
if you don't know the rules, then by all means,
I will bend to the missed field goal not counting.
yeah.
And,
I don't
and
think you
accept
should be
the
agreed
punting.
for. You should get
Yeah.
not like the NHL where you get a point for losing a game
Yeah,
in
yeah, yeah.
overtime. I don't think you should be rewarded a point
Yeah.
for missing a field goal.
The punting thing, I can get. I understand,
Yeah.
so I can bend to that
Yeah.
and meet in the middle in regard to that.
And there was a game this year where it was coming down to the wire, and we were talking in the booth. We're like, they're going to have a kick in, kick out situation coming up here. I think then they threw an interception, and the
Yeah.
end of the game was probably pick six. But at that point, we're like, we could see a kick in, kick out. And I'm like, how the hell do I announce this? Like, I don't know what to do. Like, it's something you never see, but you only see in the CFL. So,
Yeah.
And there's so much fun when they
yeah,
happen.
it's so cool, right? So,
There's
And
the
you need to
Argos
figure-
Owls one that went viral a few years
yeah,
back.
yeah.
Yeah, you need to figure out. Well, was it? There's two U Sport teams this year that went back and forth, kicking the ball in and out, and something. And it ended up being like the game win. I can't remember who it was, but it was a couple of teams out east. I think they had that. But it's a uniquely part of, and I've been pushing for it to be part of our Dunya League. That we should have a Rouge point. It's almost
Oh my God!
it's
Do not,
unbelievable that
Matthew.
we
Do
don't
not
at this
accept
point.
that.
But
Oh, it's not being accepted
Thank
for
you.
our rules.
That will be a
well,
little.
I-
and
but in
either,
the end-
either real kickers being out of the Canadian,
In the end,
that will never
it does
be
go to a
accepted in
league
our league.
vote, and you need 3 to 4 for any sort of passing. You need 75%.
We are
Wow.
a
So
CFL,
I do want
a
the
Canadian
Canadian
football
league.
fantasy league, and we have no Rouge point. It's unacceptable.
But you can
Absolutely
play
disgusting.
2 kickers, and I don't like that. You don't. Who plays 2 kickers?
I do, and I've won 5.
Actually, no.
championships.
This year,
You can get one more person on board for this?
This year,
It's tough. It's hard.
this year you did not use the kicker.
No, I did not do that
Especially
much,
like
yeah.
going into the championship game. And congratulations, San Antonio
Yes.
Texans,
Thank
for
you.
being the preeminent,
We are the best.
true
We are the
CFL
best, yeah.
fantasy champion there is. There's no one bigger. There's no one better.
Absolutely
And that
not.
pains me to say. Like if I'm saying that, that means like that takes a lot for me to
know.
say. But you went with Tyson Philpott because he had a great second half of the season.
I play the waiver wire hard every year.
But that one was
that
a
was
good
a big
one.
pickup. Yeah,
You recognized him
because he was hurt for most of it,
Yes.
and you just start looking.
You didn't
at
go
him, and he was-
kicker. You
No, I
didn't go
do
much
a lot of
kicker this
kickers.
year.
But there are some times where you got to, especially,
don't see-
and that's where
Who plays 2 kickers? Like
Well,
no
Matt-
team goes and puts 2 field goal
No,
kickers
no.
out
I know.
there.
I
Five-time
understand.
champion does
I,
it.
I understand that.
He's a 4-time.
But there
I've
are-
also won that way.
There
I've
are
won
some
it that
weeks.
way.
There are some weeks
If it's
where
there, I'm gonna
there's
use it,
there's
but-
more than one team on bye, and
Yes.
you need to have those
Go find a
opportunities.
Canadian. Go find a
Well, I
kicker,
did. I
or
found
not a
one.
kicker. Go find a
Found one at
QB.
Tyson
Go
Philpott,
find a
and you got me
receiver.
one me-
Go find a running back. I just
Sure.
because it's supposed to resemble
Go find a
real
quarterback.
football. And you don't put 2 field goal kickers on at the same time or anything.
No.
You could put 2 quarterbacks out there at the same time. You can't put 2 field goal kickers.
Yeah, but you
won't
won't. You won't. Depending on how they're put in on the depth chart that week, you won't allow them. So like,
what do you mean?
Kyle Loxley,
He wasn't because you can't play 2 quarterbacks.
Even when I got hurt at Dallas to change the depth chart to put him as a QB, you still wouldn't allow him
because you had 2 quarterbacks already on your roster, and you can't have more than 2 quarterbacks.
No,
that's what it was. You had to drop a
whatever. This was
quarterback.
like 3 years ago or 2 years ago, but whatever.
CG, you want in on this league?
I used to. But honestly, man, I don't even play fantasy football anymore, and it's like so relieving.
Is it?
I just watch football and watch my team, and I don't care about looking at who got the touchdown.
Oh,
in
and your
that
team's
game.
winning football games.
Yeah, my team's good now.
Or you could have 15
it's been a long time.
teams like he does.
Yeah, or have I used to have that was me. I'd have 50 teams. So I was like cheering for every game.
He's talking about I cheer for a bunch of different teams in different sports.
Yeah.
Oh, well, yeah, we all know that, though.
Yeah,
That hasn't
Who
changed.
doesn't?
Do you not have a
You just
team
have
in every
one
sport?
team. I just have one team per sport.
Yeah,
There's only
hockey
one
team.
sport I have 2.
Who?
College football.
Oh yeah.
Oh,
There's
there's
150
yeah.
of them. I'm gonna have
Yeah.
2 teams. I have 2 in that one. No other sport I have 2. It's all one single.
Another tough week for your Hurricanes too. But yeah, go ahead. Yeah.
Week.
Yeah.
It's been a tough 15 years, dude.
No,
If
but
not
just to Louisville, that was fun.
Yeah, it's kind of nice not playing fantasy football. I'm not
Yeah.
gonna lie. I used
Who
to
are
love
your
it.
teams?
My
He's a
team in the
Dolphin.
NFL at Dolphins.
And but like
that's it.
Then hockey, are you
In hockey, I'm a Blackhawks fan.
Yeah.
I grew up as
Oh,
a
Taylor
Blackhawks
Hall
fan.
announced out for the season.
Yeah, that's
Ooh.
great. I honestly really don't care.
Well, that news just happened.
It
So
does-
just don't
Thank
you
you.
like them, right?
I
But
like
it's
them,
like
but I
you're
don't
not
care.
gonna cry
Honestly,
yourself to
I'm
sleep if they lose. Kind
barely
of thing,
watched
right?
a hockey
Yeah.
game this year.
You haven't missed much.
No, I haven't missed much.
At least with the local team.
Yeah, no. I do miss doing post game shows when the local team is this bad.
How's it been for you,
Those are
Tommy?
fun
Awesome.
nights. There was
Honestly,
so much
awesome.
fun.
It's been a great
I did post
year
games
that
during the
way.
Pat Quinn era.
Yeah.
It was a lot of fun.
Yeah.
It is for like an entertainment side of things. Like for you, like
Yeah.
you get more callers than when they're winning.
Oh,
Always.
and especially
yeah.
when you don't have to toe the line anymore. Hey, like you
Oh,
can just say
it's-
what you want to say, and it's like, whoop, yep, there you go.
It's like my soul grew back is what I tell people.
Exactly, 100%.
Yeah.
100%.
Pre-game has been okay. Post-game has been a lot of fun
Yeah,
this year.
post games are fun.
Like to the point where you've got 3 former players watching
Yeah.
that game last night, and I'm looking at them during the game. I'm like, boys, like I'm just laughing because they suck and they're losing 4-0 and 4-1 by the end of
Yeah.
the first period. And I'm like, I don't even know anymore. And I look at Belsey and he's like,
Yeah.
we could talk about everything that's wrong, or we could just be like, what the hell's wrong with this?
Yeah.
And then like I go to Cassie. Cass is like, I don't know, man. I don't know. There's no solutions. And even Gager's like, this is wrong. This is wrong. This. So what's right? Nothing.
Yeah.
Like even they're scratching their heads. These are former pros.
Yeah.
Going what? And we're all going collectively. Well, defense needs to be better. Yeah, we know that. Goaltending needs to be better. Obviously, front office needs to be better. Duh. Everything is like an X by the team, and it's nice to be able to be like, this is not good. This is not good. Here's why this is messed up. But like in a nutshell, like in a game like last night, where former players who are analysts are like,
Yeah.
I don't know anymore.
It's one of those-
It's like wow, they've really done it.
This season feels over, but the only reason it's not is because they still do have Connor McDavid
Sure.
and Draisaitl.
Yeah.
That's the only reason I think anyone could sit there and be like, they could turn this around, is that those two could eventually turn this around at some point. We've seen that.
When those
But-
two buy in, we'll see.
Well, but outside of that's literally I was on with Huss on Winnipeg Sports Talk yesterday, and he says like, "Is there hope?" And I was like, "That's the only hope."
Yeah.
Like otherwise, based on what we've seen this season, it's done. They are not making the playoffs. They are not going to do anything this season.
Yeah.
But I can't be 100% definitive on that because that means you're also saying Connor and Leon can't get this done. And I'm not based on their history in this league. It's hard to be definitive like they're not going to get it done. I can't do this. So it's like 99% of me says this season's not over. We're get ready for next year.
How long do you wait to call it then? How long do you let this go? I mean, we're knocking on the door December.
Everyone says it's
February?
I think Feb.
Thanksgiving.
That's today.
Right? Yeah.
That's today.
Yeah.
This is
Thanksgiving.
the
I think I
spot.
could go on Feb because if they go
79% of the teams
if
who are
they
in a playoff
Yep.
spot make
play
it.
76%.
76.
If they
Yeah.
play 500 hockey, 400 hockey between now and the beginning of Feb, they still have a shot. And then
lot
if
of
they
teams,
can turn it
though.
on in February, March,
lot
April,
of
it's
teams.
Connor and Leon.
Yeah.
And that's the
St.
thing.
Louis did
And
it,
that's
right?
the only reason I could sit there and
That's the one thing. St. Louis did it. They were
But they-
like January
likelihood
1st.
it's gonna
they
happen.
January
They
3rd,
found a
yeah.
January
goalie
3rd.
though too that
They
stood on his
did.
head for a while.
They did.
Yep.
I mean,
And his Stuart Skinner is he like I'll be the first to admit like I don't know much
think
about
he-
what's going on, but like wasn't he a Vezina finalist last year?
Calder.
Calder.
Yeah.
Sorry, I
Rookie
don't
of the
know.
year.
I don't think he's got much confidence either, Luke.
No.
Yeah, I think.
But
he's
was
got-
he? Was it just a flash in the pan, or is he the
I think
goalie
he's
that
still a
they're
good
supposed to be?
goalie.
Yeah.
He's
He's
not
young.
playing. Yeah, he's
Sure.
not playing great.
He could always turn it around. I don't know if he's ever going to be. Like, well, you look at his Calder winning season last year. It's not like he was a
did.
930 or something.
Calder runner up or whatever. Yeah.
Yeah, it's like it was 914 or something.
Yeah.
Which is fine.
It's fine.
It's pretty good.
Yeah.
But it wasn't like an outstanding year where you're like, oh my God, this was out of the world
Yeah.
type performance from
You
him.
can't
all
make
year.
the argument anymore. Like you need a super elite goalie to win a Stanley
No.
Cup because that's not the case.
No.
And we saw it last year.
More
We
times
saw
than
it
not, it's not, right?
in Colorado won like Darcy Kemp. That's a
But
yeah,
if-
like
but if you don't-
Vasilevsky's the one that's done it. But other than that,
But if
like,
you don't
all
have a
those-
defense, you need that though, right?
yeah,
boom.
Yeah.
Like how many trophies or how many cups does Carey Price have? Right?
Lundqvist.
You know, Lundqvist, all those guys that got all that money.
Yeah.
That's what you want to do, fine. But you know, it's this team is built wrong, and it's been built wrong for years. And
What? Just getting more and more forwards? Isn't
yeah,
the
and
way
like
to go?
I mean, I don't follow it nearly as close as I used to, but I don't see a lot of people saying Ken Holland's done a poor job. And
Oh,
like,
I see them.
Oh,
do you?
there's a
Okay,
lot.
you guys
Oh,
would,
yeah.
yeah. but, like,
Fan-wise, there's a lot.
Media-wise,
Yeah,
like
yeah,
I know
yeah.
Ken Holland's a great
No.
guy, and he goes like tells people by their names. They talk about great questions. The media is so soft on Ken Holland in this town.
Because
it drives
Ken
me crazy.
Ken Holland got lucky in a sense. In that last year, they went. They had a good season last
Yeah.
year. The year before, they went to the conference finals. So you can't rip Ken Holland
Why?
because they went to the conference finals. And,
They made the
you know,
They
playoffs
had
every
David
year.
and
he's
Like,
won.
Drysdale.
it's
Sure,
those
yeah, but,
points
like,
where it's like you're
have
not.
they
But
gotten
then
better?
But then you go into
No.
this season and he became a lame duck GM, where now
Yeah.
everyone knows he's not making the decisions. So he kind
Yeah.
of, from a media perspective, I guess if you will, it's like right now you could fire. Those are some liners I'm gonna have to
Okay.
read.
I just wanna say-
But like
If you'd like to read one of them, we'll get
No,
into
the
that
idea
after.
like, oh, we should probably call a reporter in Toronto and ask about Jack Campbell. I'm like, do you have to call a reporter to ask about Jack Campbell?
Well-
Like, can anybody tell you that? Like, I don't know. Some of the things that get said about this team, I'm just like,
100%.
It's lunacy to me. And like, I know I'm not in it anymore, but like, I'm just like, how do you guys say that?
Still lunacy.
It like it's
Nothing's
crazy,
changed, by the way.
man. Like,
It might
it's
gotten worse.
crazy. Yeah, like
I'll
I
tell you
think
that,
it's
it's
gotten
gotten worse.
worse.
It's gotten
Like I
worse
think it's
since
gotten
you've been in
worse.
it. Yeah.
And like, I mean, that's what I like about this station. You guys can just do what you want to do and say what you want to say. But man, there's so many things that are written and said now. I'm just like, why are we not looking at the real problem here?
And that's I just say because he was successful, or at
Yeah.
least the team was successful last year. There was a reason they were cup favorites
Yeah.
going into this season.
Yeah.
And then it turns, and it's just easy to be like, well, he's not
Let's
the
just
guy
fire
in
another
charge.
coach. That'll do it.
He's not in charge, and it's not. That wasn't his decision.
No,
Like,
that's
then
fair.
and then
that's fine. But
so-
it kind of goes to where this organization's
where
gone
he's-
wrong, right? Like, is it?
But when he does ultimately leave this organization, whether it's via firing or whether it's his contract is now expired
Yeah.
and he moves on, and someone does write the Ken Holland, the history of Edmonton, it can't be good.
Oh,
anymore.
it will be though.
Well, that's going to be
It
the
will
telling
be.
thing, because it can't be good. He had some good moments in there without question.
Yeah.
But in the end, it failed miserably, because when he first took over this team, he said, I want to build a team that contends year in and year out.
Yeah.
And that's something you build towards.
had-
And he got
Yeah.
there in years 2, 3, and 4, but then it bottoms off in 5. You're not contending this year, so you didn't do your job
Yeah.
in
But,
what
like,
you set out
even
to
then,
accomplish.
It was like 2017, they made the playoffs. They made, 2 rounds? They should have beat Anaheim. And then they fell off the next year.
Won one
And-
round.
Oh,
They
yeah,
lost
they
in
won,
the
sorry,
second,
yeah,
yeah.
they won the
They lost
first
the
round. They should have beat Anaheim. They didn't.
You were there
But they
for
still
that.
blew-
Yeah, they should have won that.
They still
series.
blew a bunch of goal. Like, it wasn't just the one goal that cost them that game.
Oh God, no!
Right?
They blew a 3-goal
blew it,
lead with like
yes.
3 minutes in a game they
Yes.
should have won. But
Yes.
everybody talks about one goal, and that's how we are in the society, right? But it was,
Mm-hmm.
oh, this is the mistake that cost them the game. It's like, dude, you got to watch the whole game. You can't just
There's
watch
more
that
to
last
it.
thing that happened. The guy that missed the field goal last second. It's not just that.
Yeah.
It's everything that led up to it. But I don't know. I just kind of look at this team. There's been, we've all said they need goaltending and defense for how long? And let's go sign Connor Brown this offseason because that'll fix everything. Like, what are you doing?
And they played him a 10th game.
Like, what are you doing?
So they
But,
paid him?
Hey,
He gets the Oilers get a $3.25 million penalty
Yeah.
next year because he played his 10th game.
He loves that.
It's a penalty.
Does the
Yeah,
NHL have a
it is.
coaching cap at all?
No.
Who?
No.
No,
That's
they
a
don't.
No,
dumb
that's just the
thing to see
CFL.
off.
No, but like, but do they have like it? Obviously,
No, it's
doesn't
only
go
up to the
against-
owner. It's only
so
up
they,
to the
they
owner.
can pay as many coaches as you want.
You could
Sure.
fire a coach every week if you want, as long as the owner can pay him.
So
Okay,
Jay
cool.
Woodcroft's getting paid for the rest of this
Yeah.
year and next year. Save with Dave Manson. That's the way it works.
I won't be surprised if Chris Knobloch's getting paid out for next year.
At one point, oh boy.
If they don't turn this around, are you really sticking with him?
Isn't he
This-
Jeff
based
Jackson's guy, though?
Based on
They
the
gave him a
history of
3-year
this
deal.
organization. That's
3-year deal for a guy. Like,
3 years.
At one point, the Oilers were paying Ralph Kruger, Todd Nelson and Dallas Aikens, two of those guys weren't their head coach. They're all being paid.
Yeah.
Well, and that's the Edmonton football team as well. Like,
Right.
they've
Well,
had those
that's why
issues
I'm like,
too.
Jesus,
that
how
was
can
their
we keep doing
issue.
this? But
But then when you have that cap, it was just you like it's awful. The fact that the Riders did it right this year by giving up on this season by bringing in a lame duck coach, because if you fired him, you then have to pay for him for a year and try to.
Yep.
And instead, they just let the year run out. He walks away, and they don't have any penalty on their books. That's a shame.
and
That's
then we gave Jeremy O'Day a 3-year contract.
that's the issue that the CFL has with this coaching cap is like to do it right, you actually have to give up on a season so you don't have to incur a penalty. What a backwards way.
We
of
didn't.
looking
But the problem was, it's like they didn't give up on the season. They lost like their last 8
7.
They no,
Right,
like
but-
they had like an 82% chance to making
Yeah.
the playoffs, and we
But you
missed
didn't get
out.
a proper OC because no one wanted to come to play to be
Well,
an
that's
OC
because
for
your
a lame
general,
duck head coach
your general
and a lame
manager
duck general
and your
Right,
head coach
there's-
were in the last years of their contract.
And why wasn't there a change after last season?
to
Because
keep that right?
you
Yeah.
wanted to carry out this
Right.
season so you could walk away from these contracts.
But then why? But then if you're
Free.
going to give your general manager a 3-year deal
Well,
at
that's
the
'cause-
end of this year, why wouldn't they give it to him last year so they'd give some stability for this year?
Well-
To bring in somebody.
no one said Craig Reynolds is doing the
Oh,
right
my
things out
Lord,
there.
no.
Yeah. But you wanted to see if he did a good job this year, right? And
Oh, he did.
reward him.
Yeah.
They
Well-
almost beat Calgary at the end of the year there. Sorry, man. They
Well,
should
no,
have
it's-
beaten Calgary at the end of the year
Yeah,
there.
there's some very. I don't hate everything that O'Day has done, but there have been a lot of things where it's just you've given away players, you haven't re-signed players, like for Willie Jefferson to walk because he didn't
Yeah.
he was a Chris Jones guy for one, right, and didn't want to be there. But then you let Cam Judge go, who's a national, who's a fantastic linebacker. You can argue that you let both those two guys, Claros and Fajardo go, but I'll blame that more on Jason Moss calling plays than Fajardo. Like, he had a bum knee, and you're still calling running plays for him, right? Like, I don't necessarily agree too much on what O'Day does. We'll see what he can do, but yeah, I don't know. But yeah, I'm sorry, I'm a little off track with my own issues.
We don't go off
I'm
track
enjoying
here.
this.
This is what the show is all about. This is the EST Hangout presented by Mott's Clamato Caesar. Let's get into movers and shakers, brought to you by Marco and Mike Realty. Realty One Group Insider. Let Marco and Mike earn your trust. Visit marcoandmike.com for more information on the dynamic duo. And it's more moving around. Because I got to get into your little venture that you had recently, Lucas,
Yes.
and Whale and the Wolf. You guys had a nice little couples tours in a sense.
yeah.
You guys went west for a bit, and then you guys went out east for a bit.
Yeah.
I also have to say I like your shirt.
Yeah.
I always forget. Is it SNFU? That's
Yeah.
all it is. It's not SNFU or something.
No,
It's
no,
SNFU, which
yeah.
is a local band. RIP.
Yeah.
But how was Whale and the Wolf trip?
Good. I'll say before I answer that we are our
Talking about
online
the
store
the
right
ugly
now.
sweaters.
Yes,
I'll see if I can
it's
pull
all
one up.
25% off.
Nice.
Until Sunday, I think.
Black
at
Friday sale
noon.
for Whale and the Wolf.
Yeah. So whaleandthewolf.com. Go get some gear for Christmas. And all of our stuff is done by the Hive Product Marketing as well, just like you guys for your Edmonton Sports Talk store.
Yeah.
So whaleandthewolf.com, 25% off until Sunday at noon. Buy some gear, get it for Christmas.
The
get it
ugly
for
Christmas
yourself.
sweater.
Yeah. But yeah, no, yeah, we released obviously our album
Envy.
September. That was last time I was on here. And yeah, we played a bunch of shows. A few of them had to be rescheduled due to illness. Saskatoon and Regina. So those will be coming up in the new year. So if anyone's out there watching the show now, I believe it's Regina the 19th of January and Saskatoon on the 20th.
Awesome.
But yeah, no, it was good. It's, tour is always fun.
You guys don't kill each other?
No. I don't know. No, it was fun.
I'm sure close quarters though. There's always the times where you.
But it's nice too that you're like, I don't know how any bands do it when you're like a 2-piece, like let's say like the White Stripes or like the Pack 80 or something. There's just 2 of you.
Yeah.
Like there's 5 of us, right? So if somebody's kind of pissing you off that day, you can go and kind of partner up with the other guy, and you can rip them or whatever. And then the next day, like that guy might be making you mad, and so you're hanging out with this other.
Yeah.
Like I don't know how like a 2-piece or a 3-piece band does it. Like,
Maybe there's a reason white stripes aren't around anymore.
yeah, and Pack AD too. But no, it was good. Out east was really cool. Unfortunately, like I woke up that morning when we were flying out and I was sick. Like I was like, ugh. So the whole rest of the trip was just kind of fighting that. But great. No, that side of the country is a different beast.
What was the reception like over there?
Good. Yeah. And it's important on like we're a Western Canadian band. Like Vancouver, Kelowna, all the Alberta, all the Saskatchewan. Like we do
You're big
well.
in Regina.
We do well on our own.
Yeah.
Right. But it's a different beast out there. It's tough to cut out. So you need good bands to be playing and touring with, and we had that. We played with Andre Petitpas and the Giants, who was on our CD release here in Edmonton. We played 3 shows out in Nova Scotia with them, and the following shows in Quebec and Ontario with Emmy Jean, and she's fantastic. But we were well received. But you're still grinding out there.
Yeah.
It's tough. There's a lot of competition. There's a lot of things to do.
Yeah.
I won't lie. Playing shows in markets that aren't yours during the week is a tough sell.
Yeah.
playing shows during the week in markets that are yours is a tough sell. So, but it was great. We had a good time. Sold lots, good, well received, and got to see part of the country too that you not normally would, right?
Are you guys? How does the booking work? Like right now, are you guys be booking for summer festivals and all that right now?
Yeah. So there's some of that going on. Like we're confirmed for one in August. I don't think I should say.
Don't say.
Probably not.
Yeah, I don't know.
I don't think Ryan will be happy.
He might. I don't
Love
know.
you, right, man.
He might be happy. But no, yeah. Things booked. Like I was telling CG before we started here that like we were booking this tour. Like we started it back in like April. Mm-hmm. To go out September or late September, early October. So you really got to get ahead of things, and especially coming after COVID. Now, like everybody, it's not just we stopped.
Right.
Everybody stopped, from the littlest Whale and the Wolves to the biggest, Rage Against Machines or whoever. Everybody stopped. And the difference now before is there's less places to play.
Yes.
So if you're wanting to do a tour where you're hitting markets in a decent range, you're not backtracking because gas isn't any cheaper. You got to plan these things well in advance. So so the planning stages for shows coming up and stuff like that has to start early, and it's just like recording too. Like you put out your album and you're already like, before we put out this album, we're already recording things for the next set of stuff, right?
Yeah.
So you always got to be thinking kind of ahead of stuff.
Well, like Ryan gave me half the album like 2 or 3 years ago, and then
we recorded that first half in 2019.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. And then when the rest of it came, I was like, I love these songs. But yeah.
How was Envy?
Such an interesting
How was the
process.
release?
Yeah.
Because we had you on before.
Yeah.
Yeah.
How's it come out?
It's really, really, really good. It was good.
You guys aren't just a house band of EST
and
MCTV podcast.
Yeah.
you guys are
How are
too
you
nice.
enjoying that with Majo?
It's fun, man.
Yeah?
It's a good time to just chat with Majo every week, and he's been busy.
Yes.
With his new little one, but it's something kind of look forward to, something totally different. We used to just sit in the Jock Lounge all the time and just talk. And then we're like, why don't we just do this? Because we're wasting time. Just, we didn't talk a lot since we both kind of moved on. And we're like, let's just do it. And we've had a lot of fun with it. And we're happy to be part of Edmonton Sports Talk here. It's been great.
Monday, Friday, 7:00.
Yeah, exactly. It's just, it's a good time. Like we just kind of hang out.
Question.
Yeah.
MCTV question. What's Marvel doing right now?
I don't know.
Are they really in the poops?
I don't think it's as bad as some people make it out to be. I think they're kind of gearing up for the next big thing.
Yeah. Is it going to be a dud? Like I heard the Marvels was a absolute dud.
Like I haven't seen the Marvels yet, which is maybe an indication of where I'm at.
Yeah.
I've had some other stuff going on, but Mark had a chance to go and he just had a kid, so he found a way to go. I'll get there eventually. No, it's I think they're waiting for like the Deadpool thing to get going and this whole universe collapsing into each other and all these different cameos and all these different characters. Like I think it's going to be big. It's just getting there has not been their best stuff.
It's a slog, isn't
It's
it?
a slog. They put out so much stuff too.
Yeah.
And like for me, I'm like, great, this is cool. I have something to watch like almost every day.
Yeah.
But it's not the best stuff.
I won't lie to you, CG.
Yeah.
I keep hearing about like the Young Avengers and like,
Yeah.
the next wave of them, and I'm like,
Yeah, that's the other thing. Like they're talking about bringing back the original people that they killed off. I'm
Yeah.
like, okay, cool, but what does that mean for all those? You know, it was pretty heavy those movies where they killed all those people.
you can't bring back Robert Downey Jr. and put him into the Iron Man
How
suit
do you
again.
not? He's gonna make
And
a
I know
ton of
there's
money,
talk
right?
about that.
Yeah,
I was about to say the same thing. Is he dead?
You can't.
Oh,
yeah,
yeah,
he
sorry,
died.
yeah.
Sorry,
I'm not
spoilers,
watching
he
these
died.
things at the
Yeah,
moment,
spoilers.
but it's.
And
I have a
he
lot to
saved
catch up
the
on if I
universe.
tried catching up.
yeah.
But like, I love the way DC handled Michael Keaton in Batman. It's sad, but it has
Flash
an
sucked
end.
though.
I know. I actually enjoyed the movie because of Michael Keaton.
Yeah, he was good. Yeah, he
Yeah.
was good. The movie sucked, but he was
Yeah,
good.
no, and I don't care for that Ezra.
Yeah.
Whatever, he's a
Ezra
little
Miller.
dweeb. Yeah,
Yeah.
But
there's a lot of baggage there.
it was nice to see the finale and get a little bit of what was Keaton Batman up to, and you're like,
Yeah.
oh, he still kind of kept. He solved all the crime in Gotham City. And
yeah,
then-
they just kind of yada all over that though. It's
it's better than nothing. It's better than
No, I agree.
what could have been. And
it's better than what they did with Batgirl.
didn't they put that on ice?
Yeah, they just shelved it.
And
completely
Keaton
done.
was in that
he was in
too,
that
right?
too.
Yeah.
Yeah, completely done. They just shelved it for tax reasons, and I don't know. It's interesting. So like, we're not obviously on the inside or anything. We're just talking about what we kind of feel, which is cool. But yeah, you kind of learn a little bit more about how things are handled in big situations and stuff like that, and then you just kind of get to talk to people, and we have a decent little following of people that enjoy it, and yeah.
Our boy loves it. It's his number one podcast.
Oh, Dustin, yeah.
Dustin
Yeah.
loves MCTV.
Yeah, yeah, he's one of our probably our number one fan, which is cool.
He got a host the one time.
Yeah, he did.
He was at an Oiler game last year.
Yeah.
And he was prepping for it. Like he had his computer while he was supposed to be watching
Yeah.
Oiler, and he was
That's what he
prepping
said.
because he was on with you for it,
Probably
and he
does
was
more
having a
prep
great
than
time.
we do.
Well, he didn't want to come up. Like he was like, I'm joining my boys here,
Yeah.
and he wanted to make sure he was ready to go with you guys.
I mean, Mark does the majority of things. It's not, I'm there. I'm involved and stuff. But Mark's the real. He's the one that keeps the ship steady. He does a really good job of that.
Big Maple.
Well, there you go.
Maple.
But yeah, no, I love it. It's fun.
yeah, go show it to the.
Why?
You're gonna show a picture of Luke.
Yeah.
In action.
That was Movers and Shakers brought to you by Marco and Mike Realty. Give them the old PTO contract and let them prove to you why they're the best team at buying or selling a home. MarcoandMike.com. I do got to get into, we have a Edmonton Sports Talk draft tomorrow, and I'm supposed to do the results because we had a draft for the draft today. Because that makes sense. I don't make things complicated at all. The number one overall pick for our Edmonton Sports Talk draft of Saturday Night Live does go to EST glue guy Jay Milne. Lieutenant Eric will be drafting second overall. Dustin Nilsson getting third overall. He is not happy about that. Tommy Gazzola has the 4-5 swing. And then when it comes to the chairs, Dustin is sitting where Tommy is right now. So for those on the audio channel, this makes no sense to you, so sorry about that. But for those on YouTube, where Tommy is where Dusty's going to sit. Where I am is where Lieutenant Eric's going to sit. Where Lucas is where Jay Milne's going to sit. And Corey is sitting where Tommy is going to sit. So that's the 9 to 10 tomorrow right here on the Hangout. We will have the Edmonton Sports Talk draft of Saturday Night Live.
Can I ask a question?
Go for it.
Why does it matter who sits where?
Because,
Okay.
I have no idea.
So at
Well,
the,
Matt will know though, right?
Well,
Like he'll
because
have a reason.
we had this discussion
Yeah,
about
see?
this for the first
Okay,
one.
here we go.
At 1260, everyone was in their own spot. They had their computer. They had their
Yeah,
own
yeah.
workstation
Yeah,
almost.
yeah.
Eric had his own room even.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Here, if I have my draft prep in front of me, guy next to me could see me.
Oh, okay.
Like it's you know,
Okay,
it's all of that.
okay.
If you're in this spot where you are,
Wow.
where
If you
Tommy
make it a
is,
big deal,
Wow.
it becomes a big
Yeah,
deal.
yeah.
That's the thing.
No, absolutely,
But if we're the
100%,
two of
yeah.
you, like you could turn to the one way
Mm-hmm.
and no one would see. Where it's like even where I'm sitting right now, if I turn away from Tommy, well, now I'm opening up for Luke.
So, like, do
So-
you really worry that people are going to steal your picks?
I don't pick.
Somebody
I'm the
grabbed-
Not
cash.
you, but like,
Somebody
Well,
grabbed
it's-
someone's sheet one
He
time.
well,
Oh.
he
I
just
did,
grabbed.
actually.
Oh, sorry. He just grabbed the guy's sheet
Grabbed
at the
Dusty's
first
sheet one
draft.
time.
yeah, okay.
Dustin was where I was, and Lieutenant Eric was there, and Dusty was just like opening up his sheet, like seeing it, and Eric saw it. So it does matter now because we don't have we're pretty tightened.
We
So
don't
you know
think-
who,
Okay, yeah,
you
yeah.
know who shows like So you want to sit
it's like
beside
playing
Dusty
cards, isn't
so
it?
you could see his stuff.
Yeah, that's like.
But you also
part
you
of the
want
game to-
you and Tommy are in the big spots because you could cut away from people.
Yeah, okay.
You have more space, whereas here you don't.
Well, Tommy would cut
So-
away, and then it would show on the camera.
So what-
Yeah,
and then
it's
it's
too
much.
much.
So
It
if
would
I
be
had like Will
enhanced.
Ferrell on my sheet, but
Yeah.
like Dustin wouldn't because he's like, I don't know anything.
But you don't. But
I'm
you
not
don't
really
know where
worried
you're
about that being stolen.
Well, it's
I
the
guess.
draft.
I don't
Like, you
know.
know, it's the NHL draft. You don't want someone to know your draft sheet, your
We
order.
overthink these
Yeah, I know,
things
I know.
so
We
much.
do not. We
Now,
think about this
who
just
does
perfectly.
the fake sheet? They bring in the fake ones with all the raw
And you-
order.
and you
That's
leave
you.
it- leave it in the
You leave it
bathroom,
around. Yeah. Oh, where's my sheet? I lost
Yeah.
it. Meanwhile,
Oh.
Dustin's like, ha ha ha, and it's all backwards and upside down.
I just make sure everything runs smoothly, or attempt to
Yeah.
at least.
So where do you sit? Are you? In
I mean,
the
I have to
corner?
bring a chair and a desk in there. Last time I actually was on my knees, just sitting on the ground.
That's why
over there.
LeBron's so low. Over there.
right.
Yeah,
That we just put up
Why did you put it there?
because we had
a bad
we
height.
just had a hanging. We had a couple things just already pre-put there, so I just put them on.
Oh,
because it was just sitting on the floor, so we
Yeah,
had a
that's
thing.
true.
So I just quickly put it up.
But why wouldn't you do it a little higher?
Because we from the previous tenant, the hooks were where they were.
Oh, okay.
That makes sense.
So
Yeah,
I
that
didn't.
makes sense, yeah.
I didn't feel like I'm not going to do a lot of work to put
that's
LeBron up.
That's how I decorate my house, basically.
Yeah.
So,
Just ask.
So, but no, I'll sit over there off camera.
My God.
And yeah, where would you guys go first pick if Saturday Night Live draft if you had to?
I don't know.
Full episode.
I have
It's a tough one, man.
Okay, I never really watched Saturday
Nope,
Night Live.
Neither
Didn't
did.
get it?
Well, you and Eric didn't watch, right?
Really?
Let him.
Huh.
More of a
I
mad,
hit and
more of
miss.
a mad
See,
TV
it's-
household.
Matt
I
T was
think.
great.
Wow.
Not even.
Stewie.
Okay.
No, I don't know. I think from the stuff I've seen, like Norm Macdonald is like I like him outside of like
Yeah.
Dirty Work is a great movie. So like I just take I told Eric like I'd just take
I think-
everything Norm Macdonald. Try to get your whole board.
I
Just
don't know if that would work.
Oh yeah, Matt's
'Cause you're
got
building a
rules
show.
against that.
Well, you can't.
building
like,
a show.
You're building a show. So
Yeah,
like, if,
so he could
if
be-
one
he could be-
goes off, like off the board. I don't know. Like,
but he could be Turd Ferguson, right? He could be or Burt
Yeah.
Reynolds, and then he could be playing Turd Ferguson. He could also be doing the desk. He could host, and he could.
Weekend Update host is never going to be a host.
No, you can host
But
the
he can
show
come back.
afterward. You can come back.
But
right?
you're building one episode.
Okay.
You're not drafting all time.
episode.
You're almost basically building
Yeah,
a
yeah.
dream
An all-star.
Saturday Night Live.
I didn't say that it
episode
would
and
work.
stuff.
I say I would
So
try.
like there's
I think somebody texted in earlier on the Nielsen show about that. They could pick one person who would handle it all. and meet
No,
all
well,
the
somebody
he
criteria.
would be. He would be the.
well, they didn't want to pick anything else. They wanted
Right.
to take one person and
Yeah.
not make
Well,
another
and
pick,
then
which
just-
is for the entertainment value of it would be just awful.
Can I say
I'm going to
something?
make one pick and then
don't
stop
think so.
picking from there.
I think Chappelle, this is just totally subjective, is the most overrated host of all time. His
Dave
monologues are great, but like,
Yeah.
it just
Like
his
on Saturday
skits
Night
suck.
Live?
Yeah, the skits suck, and there's so much hype, and I'm just like, damn, that wasn't as good as I was hoping it was going to be. That's just an aside.
You talking about the last one he had?
The last
Especially?
couple, because he's done a couple in the last few years, right?
Yeah, I think last season he was on.
Yeah,
I
it's
think
like-
it wasn't good.
Tim Robinson. That's who I
Tim
remember.
Robinson is hilarious.
He's
He was on that show,
Yeah.
and he was too weird for them apparently.
Basketball.
It's all about the era you watched, right? Like,
Yeah. Yeah,
I
yeah.
mean, yeah, it's when you kind of when you started watching, that's what you love. Like for me, I'd probably say like Dana Carvey's probably one of my favorites, and
So good.
there's probably a lot of people out there going, well, who the hell's Dana Carvey? Like, you know, so. But how do you not draft Lauren first overall? Like Lauren is the show, or
Lorne
are you
Michaels?
supposed to be Lauren? Is that the idea?
Well, where you drafted? Oh, I'll go through the categories. Yeah, you don't know the full
okay.
categories.
Yeah.
We have
I don't-
categories.
I don't know.
Like
But
that
there's
could
no
be cameo,
spot.
Lorne Michaels.
Yeah, well, I would
Yeah.
say Lauren.
Because he's
Like
been-
without Lauren, there is no Saturday Night Live
Yeah,
for
but-
50 years. So I don't know how he's.
Well, we're not
first
drafting
overall.
executive producers, so
Oh, well.
there's that.
Is there a musical host?
Yeah.
There's a musical
act.
category.
not
So let me
hosting.
pull this up. I just gotta find it here. Okay, so they're gonna draft one host, one musical guest, 3 male cast members, 3 female cast members, a Weekend Update host, a Weekend Update recurring character, a
boy.
cameo appearance, 3 recurring sketches,
Wow, you
And
really
then-
gotta know this show. Hey,
and then 1 celebrity impersonation where you have to first tell who they're impersonating and who's doing the impression. So like Joe Biden's been impersonated
yeah.
by a number of people.
Sure.
You're specifically have to say, I want the Jason Sudeikis version of Joe Biden. Because that matters.
Yeah, like over the Jim Carrey version. Or
Jim
Right,
Carrey
all of
version
that,
with the
yeah.
teeth.
So
Yeah.
that's where that's 15 rounds. But yeah, there's no spot for Lorne unless you have him as, I guess, cameo appearance.
Yeah. Okay, no, that's fair.
So
It's all right. I mean, the rules are what they are. I mean,
they're
when you have Maddie
really
running things.
they're
you know,
in depth.
They're
Like
in
this
depth.
one is.
yeah.
This one's like
and Eric's
That's cool.
I think
I
in
like
one of
it.
the best
a
spots.
skit that's
I like
under
it.
2 minutes and in between these years, like, geez, man.
Eric's in one of the best spots, I think, because he has no heart in this. So he just
or brain, like, not that he's, but like, we don't.
but it's Saturday.
When you're
but
reading
it's
that out, I
Saturday
have
night,
absolutely no idea
it's
what you're
Saturday
talking
Night Live, though, and there's a lot of information Saturday Night Live. You want to look up 10 best hosts ever of Saturday Night Live.
True.
It's there, and he's not going to have the I really like this guy.
Yeah,
Right.
The
It's
emotional
gonna-
attachment.
yeah.
Yeah.
Like, sure, I'll take him.
Like if you take John Belushi, how is that going to resonate with our listeners and viewers?
Yeah.
The older ones will be like, oh yeah, John Belushi was great, and then people in their 30s are like, I didn't see him.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I heard
exactly.
Animal House was good, watched
Yeah.
it, and was like, yeah, it was all right.
Yeah.
You know, like there's that. You got to meet in the middle, find the right generation.
Jay and Dusty don't think host or musical guests matter.
Really?
They think it's the cast members that are going to be the huge ones because they didn't like. Because I also have to, when I do the draft sheet, I order it, and the order matters.
Are you going
of
to
what people
laminate the
think.
draft sheet?
No.
I can see where they
Maybe just mine.
where they would say that, like, you know.
Yeah, but-
it's sort of like ordering off the specialty menu. Like, if it's not good enough to make the regular menu, then why would you? Do you know what I mean? Yeah. Like, I can kind of see it. They're not there all the time. The ones that are there all the time are the show, basically.
But host and musical guest are one,
They're
two,
supposed
and
to
what
be your
people are going to
bigger-
see.
yeah.
Because that's
Yeah.
how you promote a Saturday Night Live. They always talk about
They
coming up
do.
next week. It's going to be Emma Stone, and I can't remember who the musical guest is or whatever it is. So
But you can have a good show with a bad host,
Totally.
right? So like that, I get that.
Or
And
a bad musical
or a bad
guest.
musical guest,
Yeah.
or genre you don't care for. You're just like, whatever, I don't care. I'll just switch it that time.
And they
And
can have
updates coming on right
the
after the
funniest
music.
sketches,
so,
yeah.
Interesting.
I'm back into Saturday Night Live for some reason.
I keep.
I go
missing
in
it.
and out.
Yeah.
This season
Yeah.
I've watched all of them. I haven't
I'm
been
watching
the
it this
best.
year.
They've been all right. There's been a
Yeah.
couple of good skits or sketches, but
Yeah.
I still go back to like the Pedro Pascal I mentioned earlier.
That was great.
His
He was funny, man.
that he had last year was
Yeah.
awesome from start to finish.
He was great.
That was one of the better episodes I've seen in years. So
You seen Arrested Development?
I have.
Good.
Yeah. It's a random
Brilliant
thing.
I
show.
still have to see that one.
You haven't seen Arrested Development?
I watched.
He
so
keeps
good.
telling me
I
it's
watched
that
it,
and
yeah.
It's Always Sunny. I've never seen.
I watched the
Such
first
good
3
show.
seasons like once every 2.5 months.
Really?
It's just so good. Like,
Who's your favorite character, Luke?
in Arrested Development?
Yeah.
Ooh.
By the way, Lucas Holt, Tom Gazzola, Corey Graham, Matt Iwanyk with here on the EST Hangout. So, sorry.
Job's got to be up there.
Job's
Yeah.
great.
Job's
great.
I like Tobias.
Tobias too. Yeah,
What a
yeah.
weirdo.
good.
They're all good in their own like.
Yeah. Even like the guests, like Bob Blah Blah. And
Yeah.
you know, there's so many good ones.
George
The-
Michael.
the
his
bullet?
little- the bullet.
Tobias! yeah, it's such a man. You got to watch it. You
Such
like
a good show.
20 years.
yeah.
I saw that just in an article recently that it's been 20 years since it's been on the air and stuff.
And it was on network TV.
Yes.
Like,
Yeah.
it was so ahead of its time. It's unbelievable. It's such a good show.
I like what Michael Cera did. Remember they released the 4th season. They were like 50 minutes, and they kind of
That 4th season was
it was tough to
'cause
swallow.
They didn't film. None of them were all together.
Right.
Yeah.
For
Yeah.
the filming. Yeah.
But Michael Cera went in and he re-edited them,
Yeah.
and they were much better.
Yeah.
I don't think you can even find that 4th season on Netflix anymore.
really?
Like the re-edited one, I think is there, but that
yeah.
original,
Where it's all out of
It was-
like order and stuff.
yeah,
it was
well,
really
It
weird.
was weird. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it kind of lost me.
And the episode being like some would be like 54 minutes, another one's like 47. You're like, oh.
But those first 3 that were
Brilliant.
on Fox, like they were so
They made fun
so
of
good.
themselves getting canceled before they got canceled.
Yeah.
Yeah, but like I said, I've seen it like once every 2 months, and like you're still picking up on jokes that you like. Oh, I get it now. It's like Seinfeld.
Yeah.
Like it was
Yeah.
it was a really well written show.
Yeah.
Their callbacks are so good too. Like in episode or even further down the season, some of the stuff they do is like callbacks. to certain-
Lucille.
Yeah. Oh my god. Yeah. It is.
When do we start seeing new episodes of shows again? Do you know?
I do not know. I know some are going back into production, but I
Yeah.
don't know when we're actually going to see them.
Because the writer's
Oh, the
strike,
strike,
there's
yeah.
that.
Yeah,
Because they
yeah,
just,
yeah.
but both just ended.
Yeah.
Well,
Right.
the writers first, and then the actors a couple weeks ago, and it's now. That's the reason there was a lot of reality TV on this fall.
Yeah.
So for like these movies and stuff that were coming out, was that like all like scab production?
no, it was all done before.
Oh,
they've been
okay.
working on it since. So.
I
Like
know-
they just dropped a new trailer for Ghostbusters.
It looks
and I was like,
amazing.
it does, but like when the hell do they film this?
They filmed it like a year. My brother was saying they filmed
Yeah.
it like a year ago.
Yeah, it's incredible. It's just been sitting like the trailer's been sitting there that long waiting for it. Like yeah.
Well,
It
they've had to
looks so
push
good.
release back some movies because
Oh,
of this
yeah,
all
a ton
because
of them.
you couldn't
Yeah.
promote it.
Yeah.
Do you know anything? Like, is there good? Like,
I don't know anything. Period. Full stop. Full stop. Yeah.
Shut it down. Star Wars stuff like Andor.
Yeah,
Is
yeah.
that supposed to be coming on anything?
I don't know. They haven't announced any dates for it yet, but frick, that first season was so good.
Yeah, that was really good.
Yeah.
That was really good.
Do you guys still get hyped up for U.S. Thanksgiving,
No.
NFL wise?
You mean
yeah,
Thursday?
today.
Yeah, no, like it's like the fact that there's all these games on all day.
Honestly, my wife and I took today and tomorrow
3,
off
you mean?
because of the football games.
Yeah.
So that's why I'm here, because there's football today. Now she has to go for surgery, so it's kind of ruined our football time, but she's a Jets fan and I'm a Dolphins fan, so tomorrow could be an ugly day anyway.
Those are probably some tough years in your household.
Well, it hasn't been too bad for me.
Yeah.
The other team, meanwhile,
No, for like
it's,
Like combined.
Yeah. There's a lot of times we don't talk on the Monday after a game. And not because, I'm just like, I just know this is not going to go well.
Oh, yikes. Yeah, I don't really care. Tomorrow's gonna be a good one though. Tomorrow
you're
and
college.
Saturday, yeah.
Because you're into the college and stuff.
Yeah.
I used to always in school. It was always a goal of mine to convince my teachers to put on the games on every Thursday.
I
actually had a really good success rate of somehow getting them
Wow.
to turn it on and like quiet. I couldn't believe how many times my teachers like, yeah, sure, and they threw it on.
It was neat
Like,
coming home for lunch and having a game on. Like
Yeah,
that was
yeah,
always
yeah,
nice.
It was always the
But,
best.
But yeah, no, it'll be it's when there's that's why we've talked about this before. Like your late August, September is like it is the best time for
Fall is
sport,
amazing.
right?
Yeah.
Like there's something on every day. Like Tuesday though, like I'm watching MACtion Tuesday night. Mac, like who was it? Buffalo and Eastern Michigan. That's
Buffalo.
all that was on.
Not good.
No,
Right?
there's
Like,
no hockey games.
No
And
hockey,
tonight,
no other,
no hockey games today.
wrestling wasn't even on. Like it was just that's all you got. But on a September, you would probably have maybe an NHL game. I don't know.
You
when
don't like
NHL
preseason.
starts.
Preseason.
Yeah,
You got
but you got
baseball.
baseball for sure.
CFL.
Yeah.
Well, we had the, what was it, 9th sports equinox this year?
Yeah.
I think that
Where
is.
like all four leagues are playing at one
Yeah.
day.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And there's 2 days a year where there's no sport, is there not?
Around the All-Star game in baseball.
Is
Yeah.
that? And then like
Usually the day after the All-Star game, that Wednesday. MLS has done a good job, I think. I don't recall this year of trying to fill it a little bit. Honestly, that's a day the CFL should try
Oh,
to get
God,
on.
yeah.
for sure.
Get on CBS Sports Network in the States, play a
Yeah.
Wednesday game.
And do your free agency the week in between the Super Bowl and your AFC NFC. When there's nothing else going on. That's when you should be doing your free
Because
agency.
now it's because the Super Bowl's been moved back. Now it would be like the Tuesday after Super Bowl. That's a decent. I wonder what the reason they wouldn't want that.
I don't know. There's got to
have to
be
think
something, and he won't.
It's the
Randy
way
won't
it's
say
always
anything.
been
Yeah.
done, so that's the way we'll continue to do it.
Well, but the thing with CFL free agency too is it's never been the consistent day or time.
no,
Yeah.
no.
And that's what's always been. You never know when it. Same with the draft. You never fully know when it's going to be. You just get told the draft is
You're like, oh,
one year.
okay.
The draft is Sunday at 10 a.m. The next
Yeah.
year it's Tuesday at
Yeah.
5 p.m. Another year it's Wednesday at 10 a.m. And you're like, have some consistency, guys.
What I hate about it though too is that there's this horrible stigma to people in the CFL moving around, but yet we have full days where people take off work for NHL trade deadline.
Yeah.
and they want to see trades and this, like you have that in like so many of it in CFL free agency, but we don't market that. We don't have a day. There's nothing on. I know a lot of now with the tampering window, and you can do this stuff prior.
We'll have CFL free agency. I'm at the
Right.
Sports Talk. Us in Winnipeg Sports Talk, we're talking. There's a big collaborative effort.
I'd love.
I don't know if that's going to happen. We'll
Do
try
it.
to. We'll try
I
to.
want in.
But no, I embrace it. Embrace the fact that your guys move around a lot. Embrace
Well,
that.
There's a balance though to it. You need to have some players stick around so you can sell those
do.
jerseys.
Yeah.
So you can have. I know you're different because you have how many Riders jerseys?
Yeah, I
With
gotta
Graham.
get another one too this year.
Right, like
Nick Marshall, who you bugger.
he. So a lot of people they don't want to. Most people don't want to have to change their jerseys every year. They want a player that they could root for 5 years, let's say.
But you
so
still
there is
can.
a
You can
balancing
still wear that. It's not
act.
like that jersey becomes toxic after they leave. Like,
it's weird, isn't
How
it?
many people still wear like a Ricky Ray jersey to the?
A lot.
Yeah.
And what's
Yeah.
nothing
Like, why
wrong
can't
with it.
you?
Yeah.
But
Nothing is
Ricky Ray,
wrong
how
with it.
long was he an Elk or an Eskimo at the time? Right, like
Yeah.
he started
years.
in 02 and was traded in 12 or something. So he had a good
You need to have
9 years
somebody
here
to
because he
associate
left.
with to buy that jersey, right? Like, I mean, Trey Ford's going to sell a bunch of jerseys,
Yeah.
Got to sign him.
right? You got to sign them.
that press
They're going
conference.
to sign them.
Well,
But guys have like you can still get jerseys
but that's the balance where you do need some players.
Yeah.
You
But
want
if
that
the-
movement,
but if the
but
art-
you also want some players like you want Chad Kelly to stick in Toronto for a number
Sure
of
you
years.
do.
You're,
Yeah.
I'm happy Zach Claros has been with the Bombers for 4 years.
But if they went away from Ouellette and they brought somebody else in as a running back, that's still good. You know what I mean? That's still sweet that they've done that. You know, if and you get new blood coming into your, like, if a defensive player, like a new linebacker, they lost Cameron Judge and they brought in, can't know, but like I don't see how that's bad. And if your whole reason is because of the jerseys,
well, it's not always necessarily. It's just your connection to your team, right?
What's going on?
You want a little more connection to your team. So, like the NBA is having this issue, but the NBA is having this issue now too.
Your stars,
Oh, yeah.
The NBA, people in the NBA are upset with the movement happening in the NBA too.
But
their stars are moving.
But you can honestly, because the stars are calling the shots though with that too.
Well, in theory, in the CFL, the stars are calling the shots too. They're moving around too because their contracts are up, type thing. Like, I would like to see.
I don't think Sean Lemon called his shot.
Well,
he got it.
He could have been an elk if Brock Sutton doesn't cut him.
Yeah.
I think there needs to be a couple more players sticking around longer, while still having a fair amount of movement. Like it'd be nice to just, and they're trying to get that done with the guaranteed contract.
But you can say that's a beauty about the CFL too, is that like you can go from missing the playoffs to winning the Grey Cup, like pretty quick. Did Montreal make the playoffs last year?
Yes.
Didn't, but they were out.
They looked really good. They should have been a good team this year, but then ownership change happened. They lost
Right.
Eugene, they lost Trevor Harris, and things were looking.
But they weren't looking good for, and now they're Grey Cup champions. Do you know, like you can turn a season around, and that a lot has to. But also, free agency doesn't mean a whole lot. The Eskimos did free agency and they got Trevor Harris. They got all these big names, and they still were
mediocre.
Yeah.
What are you laughing at?
Yeah. Well, sorry.
EST glue guy Jay Milne. I'm reading. He just texted in 780-218-9999. Jay says, "Tell Lucas that the Bears suck balls, but he redeemed himself by knowing what Maction is." EST glue guy. And then I went and read. You and him were going back and forth earlier today.
Oh, is that on there?
Yeah.
I thought I texted.
He wrote this is
directly.
He wrote, sure? "This is BS. Leaking picks
That's old.
hour before the draft." Yeah, it's from earlier. That's what I'm saying.
Not today.
It says today. Oh wait, yesterday or
When's your next show?
That's quite old.
Oh, that is old. Sorry,
Yes. I know that's very
But I
old.
just love how you guys bicker.
We're off for a bit. Yeah.
Nice.
We didn't bicker. It's just
You're bickering.
he was coming at the commish. The commish is defending myself. But that was
think
for the
it's
last
hilarious.
draft. That wasn't today.
I think it's hilarious.
Him and I were texting today. Okay. He now has my number. We text each other.
Good. You should have each other's number.
I'd love Jay.
He's
hilarious.
really mean. Hey, that guy.
Matthew?
No, Milne.
Oh, he already
Jay's
knows
great.
I mean.
No,
He's funny.
Jesus.
He's a glue guy for a reason.
He's whatever.
You guys have beef, don't you?
I don't.
Sponsored by Acme Meats.
He gets
Century Casino, Sports Bar and Lounge. Our watch party. It was Bears versus Commanders.
I sat
Bears
there with your
fan
brother, and he kept
who-
flipping me off the whole time.
Mel did?
Yeah.
Oh, he just kept
Oh.
like he'd look over and give him the middle finger.
Really?
Yeah.
Yeah.
What? You and Paulie are.
Oh, Paulie's great.
You
Yeah,
guys
yeah,
are
he's
tight.
awesome, yeah.
You guys
Jay
are boys.
also paid for your drinks.
Yeah, what a dick. Yeah, thanks, Jay.
Yeah.
No, that's like you don't have a lot of Commanders fans that you're gonna ever run
No,
into.
Jay's one.
and Jay was one.
Wow.
But
Yeah.
you then won the Justin Fields jersey.
Yeah, I think it's huge.
That's right.
Real big.
That was a good deal.
Real big jersey.
Was it?
Yeah, it's pretty big. That's okay.
Is it an
though.
XL?
Yeah.
Ah, that's too big.
Those things, you swim in them. Hey?
Yeah, they're pretty
Yeah.
roomy.
Yeah.
Take it to
Not
a
all of
tailor.
us, but yeah.
Taking a jersey to the tailor.
yeah.
I'd love to see that. Yeah, I'd like to get this brought in.
I'd like this to be in a medium, please.
Tight.
Medium.
Tight. Yeah.
Toy.
I don't know. It's Jay's good. Jay's a good guy. I like Jay.
Me too.
He's got Commander shoes.
You've got Washington Husky shoes right now.
These aren't. No, these are
No,
just
those are
purple
purple.
shoes.
I know, that's
But
why
I do
you
have
have
two.
them. That's
I
why
do
you
have
have
two
them.
pairs.
Do you have two pair?
Two pair.
Wow.
Oh wait, but you also have Husky. Chelsea got you Husky shoes.
Two pairs.
Oh, two pairs of those.
Two pairs.
How many of these?
Of gazelles? I
Yeah,
like
of the purple
5.
version.
No, one of these.
Just one.
You've got those looking fresh.
Yeah, they're pretty fresh.
Nice.
Wow.
Yeah. Dinosaurs here.
That's for
Sick.
Fred.
Yep.
That's what?
Nothing. I've just.
I feel like you have something to say.
No,
something
I just.
to say,
It's
Lucas?
time to. Yeah.
Well, you want us to wrap up?
No,
Five
guys.
minutes.
I'm so confused.
Don't let me run your show. Just you guys.
Oh.
It's okay, Matthew.
But I would like you to run this show. This is your chance. You could do as
There
you
you go.
wish. You got 5 minutes to do as you wish.
10 minutes.
No, because we will have to wrap up so I can send it over to the lock shop. Because Dusty and Huss will have the lock shop coming up at 11 o'clock, they'll get you set with the best bets for the remainder of today and tomorrow in both football and everything else. And then it's two guys and a goalie, Joaquin Gage, Matt Cassie, and Dustin Nielsen. That's taking place at noon right here in Edmonton Sports Talk, edmontonsportstalk.com in advance of our busy day tomorrow, which has the Nielsen show. Then we'll have the draft of Saturday Night Live, followed by the Lock Shop, followed by Oil Stream pregame show, followed by our watch party of the Edmonton Oilers game.
It's a big day.
And then we'll have the post game. It's going to be a fun Friday tomorrow. Sobeys Beer of the Week.
You're just sleeping here tomorrow.
He's done
Right,
it.
eh?
He's
I've done it
already.
before.
Yeah.
I know you said that you've wanted to, but
I didn't
know you
really
actually
want
did it.
to, but
You said at the beginning, like, I'm
it's going to happen.
I'm going to do this.
No, it's Oilers' first game, I think, because it was 8 o'clock in Vancouver on a Wednesday night, and I had to do the
late
morning
one.
show the next day. So by the time we were done,
I think I got
post-game
home at
and
like
stuff,
1 o'clock.
because post game was fired up again, as it has been all year. It's
been great.
because the Oilers lost that first one 8-1.
We're still looking for sponsors for Oil Stream pre and post. We've had people be like, nah, the Oilers season, we don't want to sponsor. It's like, hey, do you want people to watch and see your advertising?
That was the
This
time
would be
to
the time
sponsor.
to
time,
sponsor,
yeah.
Yeah.
I just want to get that in there.
Yeah.
So
And then this Saturday, big sale coming up at Pro-Am Sports.
Yes.
They've got a lot happening. Dusty was mentioning earlier today, we're going to have, I think it was a seat back of the Oilers, the old place signed by a bunch of Oilers, including, I think, Paul Coffey's in there. I think Mark Messier, he said in there. We're going to be giving that away here on Edmonton Sports Talk over the next little bit. But a huge sale on Pro-Am Sports this Saturday, a massive blowout. Go check them out. Jack Cookson was on the Hangout a few weeks ago. He was awesome.
Yep.
Pro-Am Sports, just off Yellowhead and St. Albert Trail. North of St. Albert Trail, you go past the, is it an Arby's?
I think there's
and then
Arby's
it's,
there, yeah.
and then it's on the left side there. Take that first left and Pro-Am Sports this Saturday. Well, look, you don't have to go on Saturday for the big sale always. Like, that's not the only time. You could go anytime. You can go right now if you want to go to Pro-Am
Good
Sports.
job
But
running your 5 minutes of the show.
so
he does.
I just wanted to get it ready.
Big sale,
is a really
big
good
sale
job.
too at whaleandthewolf.com.
25% off.
Yeah, until Sunday at noon. So
And
get
if you're
that stuff
going
in.
to see the boys at Pro-Am after you get your Whale and the Wolf merch and you stop in at Arby's, eat the beef and ched before you go in there and start touching things, okay?
Yeah.
You don't want that cheese sauce on the merch.
Yeah, probably not.
Yeah.
No.
Or go to Arby's and get the beef and ched later.
Or a couple napkins.
Or a couple napkins, perhaps.
Yeah.
Or go to
Wash your
A&W,
hands.
Popeyes,
Who knows?
Boston Pizza.
Yeah, those are the main ones.
Huskies and Cougs play 2 o'clock on Saturday.
Yeah, no, it's good. It's a
early.
good time. Yeah.
It's early.
It's perfect.
And that,
So what? That'll be over by 3:30. 3. Game-wise?
Yeah, game wise, like time wise, no. But
No,
yes, for
okay, yeah.
sure.
Time wise, 4:30, close to 5.
Yeah.
But I don't.
It's gonna be.
The Cougs started off strong this year, and then they fell off.
If we got a few more minutes. The Pac-12 in general, like it's a shame that they couldn't get a TV deal because like this has been the best that conference has been in a long time. At the beginning of the season, what was it? It was Oregon State, Washington State, Oregon, Washington.
Ranked teams.
Oh, yeah,
Going with?
Colorado,
USC, UCLA was
yeah.
in there.
So
Colorado.
all of them, basically everyone except for the Arizonas and Stanford.
Yeah.
Yeah, like to have all those people ranked in the top 25, all those teams ranked in the top 25. Obviously now it has dropped off, but
Look
like
at USC.
but still you have Washington and you have Oregon. Oregon you could argue is playing the best football in all of college football right now. Oregon State winners of 16 or 17 up until last weekend at home. Like it's a good conference, and it's a shame that it's going to be gone and be split
It's
up.
not gone. It's the Pac-2. 2 teams left.
Yeah,
The Pac-2. Well, Mountain West is where they'll go eventually, which is going to be a shame.
probably.
It's just going to be an absolute shame to.
yeah, but
It's just wish they carried them with them. The brothers, big brothers, carried the little brothers with them. Washington took Washington State, and Oregon took Oregon State to the Big Ten with them. Just held their hands and walked them along, and it just couldn't happen.
couldn't do it. Can only carry people for so long.
Congratulations again on the junior
Thank you.
championship.
Yes, thank you.
It's pains me to say, but truly the best CFL fantasy performance of the season by anyone. Just no bigger champion,
Pillar
no
to
better
post.
champion.
Poor Aaron.
Yeah, pillar to post, we were the best.
No, it's just that no one else could claim to be a real CFL fantasy champ at all in this country. There's only one, and it is Lucas Holt.
Yes.
And again, that pains me. Anyone that knows this rivalry knows that it hurts for me to say
Not
that.
just
Dusty's
fantasy rivalry, but
seething
like
right
life rivalry.
It's a huge life rivalry, but you are the best
I
right
am
now
the
in the
best.
country. There is no one better.
Thank you.
So we'll see if you can repeat next year. Your Dolphins going to win?
I mean, They should. If they don't, there's something wrong. I mean, they're playing the Jets with Tim Boyle at quarterback. Although maybe there'd be a big bump for if
Good
they finally
defense,
got
though.
rid of Zach Wilson. Great defense. Like that team's not bad. Their offense is just so brutal. Like their
And they
defense
waited
is good.
so long to do something about.
They waited way too long. Like,
Where's Vinny Testaverde?
yeah, he's like 85. But yeah,
They should have got rid of Mike White, the Jets.
they shouldn't have.
He was actually pretty good for them last year,
Like-
and if they were looking at a backup, if they still wanted, I know they had Aaron Rodgers and stuff, but
Right.
I think they should have looked at Mike White as the guy because when he played last year until I think got concussion or something, he was good.
Like the whole idea was them to redshirt Zach Wilson this year and have him learn, which is great because there's talent there, right? When Aaron goes down, you bring in Trevor Siemian. You got to bring in somebody that can push Zach Wilson, right? You got to bring in somebody that can play.
Joe
I think.
Flacco.
Not Flacco. He was there for 2 years and he was awful. Like I know you love Flacco. He won you a Super Bowl.
I'll always have a
but
soft spot in
What
my
about
heart for
he's
Joe.
done.
Dalton.
They could have brought in, like they could have.
He's
you
your-
look at Josh Dobbs. Obviously, he's the easy one to say now. But
What hurt was the fact that because it was before the season started, the Trey Lance got traded to
yeah, like
the
Trey
Cowboys.
Lance,
Like if the 49ers still had Lonzo, they might have been like the Jets might have made a move there.
Like I feel bad for Jets fans because there was a lot of excitement this year, right? And 4 plays in, you see your quarterback go down, and he's saying all the right things about coming back, but when we get to the middle of December, he's like, "Well, we're out of the playoffs. What's the point?" And then he's going to be like, "I was ready to come back for my team. I was ready to be there, but we're not going to make it, so I'm just not going to." It's like,
And if they would have
Come
done
on,
something,
you weren't
then
coming
like
back.
and they were still kind of in the hunt of some sort, then you would.
maybe, but he comes off really good here, right? If they,
Yeah.
I really tried hard, but there's, I'm gonna save it for next year. To where was he ever actually gonna come back? I mean, I hope he does. It'd be fun, but incredible.
But to your point, like, why would you at that stage in your career after
But-
that injury, and you know
Ego.
that
you
there is
spend
nothing to
so
play?
much time rehabbing though.
Yeah.
Like you,
But
wanna
then
have-
rehab it for the next year.
It's
an
tough,
ego
though.
thing.
The mentality thing, like
Yeah.
if you think how much time you spend, you want to get back. You want to prove that you can do it.
People doubting it. People saying
Yeah.
you're not going to be able to come back. So in his mind, it's also
Yeah.
a fuel of I will show you people. I will
Everything.
be back on that field.
Yeah. I'm just thinking like,
Oh, and when the Ravens last won the
Take
Super
the
Bowl,
time.
Ray
Like-
Lewis had, I think it was an arm injury, bicep injury or something, and he came back super quick. And
yeah.
he wasn't exactly the same, but it led him to a Super Bowl. It was his last dance.
I just like
It was-
for the age
there was
that
a lot
you
of
are,
awareness.
if you come back
Yeah.
to a season that means nothing and that shortens your career by
Well, a year,
however many,
like, you don't
as
have much
opposed
left.
to staying, I don't know.
You guys dropped an MCTV the Monday.
Monday, yeah.
Still
That was our
plans
first
for
one
this
back.
week or just with
I
Mark's
think
schedule?
just till next Monday. Now we're kind of going down to 1 for a little bit, and then we'll ramp it back up here once we get kind of organized.
MCTV. You can catch it live right here at Edmonton Sports Talk. Friends of EST, Monday, Fridays at 7. Corey, it's great seeing you.
Yeah,
Great
you
having
too. This
come
is
in.
fun.
So glad we were able to get
so
this done.
glad I can finally come in.
Luke, thanks for coming.
Thanks.
But hey, you're the best.
Yeah, I am.
On behalf of Tom Gazzola, Corey Graham, Lucas Holt, I'm Matt Iwanyk. Thanks for tuning in to the Hangout on this Thursday. Up next, it is a lock shop with Huss and Dusty. And coming up at noon, 2 guys and a goalie, Gager, Cass, and Dusty will recap yet another Edmonton Oilers loss. Thanks for tuning in. Lock shop coming up in mere minutes.